Oh, hello there, and welcome to Bitcoin Talk Show Live. I'm Thomas Hunt, and we're joined by Davi Barker.
How's it going?
We were just talking about which Star Trek captain is the best, and we definitely weren't saying that it was Janeway.
No, it's not Janeway. She's a dead last. I think Picard wins. People argue about Kirk. I don't. I think
Oh.
Picard wins.
It depends. You have to decide what you're judging based upon your judging qualifications.
Wh-
This is Bitcoin Talk Show on the World Crypto Network. You can watch us at worldcryptonetwork.com where we've got daily YouTube shows. Check out what's been going on recently at Mad Potcoins, our Sunday show, or This Week in Cryptos, our Saturday show. We've even got Bitcoin Group on Fridays and Dark News on Tuesdays. And tomorrow, check in with Midas Marnie. We're just sitting here hanging out, seeing if you guys are going to call in. We didn't remember to turn on Skype or to really get our phone number set. Usually Derek's here. Davi, what do you think about that? Think we should turn Skype on?
Yeah, I guess so. If we're gonna invite callers, there ought to be a way for them to do it.
I'll probably have to change my lower third so it says something more like Skype us. Ooh, the Skype sound. Well,
Do you see The Good Wife did a second episode on Bitcoin?
I heard that they did, but I haven't watched it yet.
Well, I could spoil it for you if you want.
Oh, you could go ahead. I already heard that the character from Sports Night passed away in spectacular fashion, so I
I don't
don't
know
know.
who that is or what that's about.
Sports Night. Sports Night was a Wes Sorkin show. He wrote, West Wing, and it was like behind the scenes of ESPN, and they all talked really fast, and they walked and they talked. So it was like West Wing, but
But for sports.
yeah,
Okay.
it's super good, man.
So the first Bitcoin episode of The Good Wife was about a person alleged to be Satoshi Nakamoto, or Mr. Bitcoin as he was called in the episode.
Bitcoin.
But last week was about the person alleged to be the Dread Pirate Roberts. They did a Silk Road episode on The Good Wife, and it was a kind of he said she said. The drug dealer says he's the guy, and he says he's not the guy, and I don't know. It was interesting. It portrayed Ross Ulbricht as a sympathetic character, although it didn't use his name.
Was it a court? Like, did they get to a court case? Is that the kind of show it is?
No, it was all leading up to the case. It was essentially hearings or negotiations over a plea deal or something like that, and then in the end they decide they don't want the case, which is sort of a weird way to end a court drama, but that's what they did.
We don't
So,
want the case. Get your drama out of here.
so yeah, that's right. The Good Wife not resolving the Ross Ulbricht case, but at least raising awareness about it.
All right. Apparently, got to put less words in here. Maybe switch the words.
Well, less words is always what you want with a talk show.
Google has a very strict qualifications for their lower thirds. Let's
Oh
see
yeah?
now. There we go. Call us at 1-516-900-4926. That leads to this actual phone here. Or you could Skype us at World Crypto Network, all one word. That leads to this Skype window over here. So there you go. You can reach us on Bitcoin Talk Show. You can be a part of the show. And before we talk about Star Trek some more, which is what we have planned pretty much, we're going to talk about the price of Bitcoin. As you can see from the chart, Bitcoin was going down, but now Bitcoin is going up. The blue line is about to meet the orange line. The orange line is the moving address. I don't know what the blue line is called. This is the 4-hour chart. Let's zoom out. 6-hour chart. They're further away. 12-hour chart. They're further away, but look at the height of this skyscraper. 452. Now down to 446. What do you think, Davi? What do you think about the price?
You know, I maybe I'm just accustomed to Bitcoin when it like fluctuated wildly, but this all feels pretty stable to me. Like anything in the mid 400s feels like a stable currency to me, based on the sort of rocky ship that I've been on. So I'm not even concerned about it.
Moving out to the one-day view, look at this steadiness around the 460s. The orange line just seems to love the 460s.
And there you go.
3-day, we're still sloping downward dangerously from the 755, 710 recent peak.
So I have a technical question. If I call you on Skype in my other window and there's a lag between the two feeds, do you think we'll rip a hole in the space-time continuum?
I don't think you should try. I do think it's incredibly dangerous. Obviously, you from the past could talk to you from the future, and probably the way things are going, deliver information about the Bitcoin price.
That's a
So,
good point. If I put this graph on both screens and they were a split second apart, could I, what is that called when you balance it out? There's a word for that, microtransactions that just play the data.
arbitrage?
Yeah, there you go.
Arbitrage. Yeah, arbitrage is selling two things at the same time for different prices.
Right.
So, but yeah, I think you have to have two hands to do it.
Well, I do have two hands.
Mm.
That's funny. I get arbitrage confused with the word triage, and that's almost the opposite thing. That's doing one thing at a time because it's more important.
Well, but triage is easy to remember because it means triage, which is tree. So it was a military hospital term. So they would separate people into three categories: those who didn't need attention, those who needed immediate attention, and those who were like going to die and like it wasn't going to be helpful.
So not worth your attention.
Yep. And that's like pretty much when you sort something, like you triage it, you separate it into categories based upon usefulness. Or,
Well, now that we've started the show on the worst downer possible, which category would you put Bitcoin in?
well, obviously, I think we should continue working with Bitcoin. I don't think it's beyond hope yet, but the price has been bad. But I mean, you know, we've zoomed out to the 1 week chart. So each one of these bars represents a week of the life of Bitcoin. These back here were the fun weeks, right? These are the really not fun weeks. And if we look at this thing here, it does seem to test a bottom at 382, another bottom at 400, and another bottom at 351. Given that we're on another down line here, the question is, where is the next bottom?
Sure. Although I wouldn't necessarily agree with you about the fun and not fun weeks. As a vendor who accepts Bitcoin, the down weeks are fun for me because it means I get paid more for stuff.
I guess the up weeks are where my shiny badges pins are accumulating in value, and the down weeks are the weeks where I should have held on to my money instead of the pins, or vice versa, maybe, but something like that. We obviously have the big cross here, the two lines crossed, the orange average line and the blue other line.
Yeah, that's like in Ghostbusters, right? When you cross the streams and you open a portal to the underworld.
That is what happens, and we had 3 down candles from there, so I do think a portal to the underworld might have been opened. Slimers unleashed. Don't cross the streams. It's dangerous. What do you mean, dangerous? Tell them about the Twinkie.
Speaking of shiny badges, hang on a second.
Oh, shiny badges.
I got a new product.
Oh.
Check this out.
Whoa! That looks pretty great, Dobby.
So Bitcoin Not Bombs is doing beanies now. This is sort of a complement to the t-shirts and hoodies that we do. And these are available on Shiny Badges under the Causes tab. And everyone that sells sends $10 to the Hoodie the Homeless campaign.
Very cool. How much are they?
They are $20.
Uh-huh.
So that's kind of cool.
I'm going to have to get $20.
I also take Bitcoin.
I have to get some Bitcoin. But look, there it is, the Bitcoin Not Bombs beanie. $20. That's very cool. I'll be all set for the summer with that beanie.
Yeah. It gets plenty cold in San Francisco, even in the summertime.
There you go. That's a good point. And it's a way to identify yourself at Bitcoin meetups.
Yeah, for sure. Although, really, what I'm doing is I'm stocking up for PorcFest, and that's in New Hampshire. So it's plenty cold in New Hampshire. I'm hoping these do well there.
Very cool. I was reading about PorcFest. I heard one of the advertisements on the Peace News Now program, Derek J. talking about a week of camping with the Liberty people. What is it like, Dobby? What is it like?
It's like Burning Man in the woods with silver.
If they had Burning Man in the woods, they'd only have it 1 year because we would burn down the woods. So that would be a
No, there's a pretty sizable fire. I guess it's not like a Burning Man fire. Nothing burns in effigy that I know of, although maybe we should start that tradition.
There's never been a better time to start burning large things.
But no, it is like as a sort of veteran burner, I used to go to Burning Man like 10 years ago, and PorcFest is a lot like Burning Man used to be. It's like an open canvas where people are free to kind of do whatever they want, and there's a lot of sort of tolerance and there's a lot of creativity, and
Do they
I guess
have like shows or gathering places? Do they have a center camp? Are there
yeah.
vendors? I mean, I guess you have money, right? So you have vendors. And
Yeah,
Burning
there's vendors. The first row, or I think 2 rows, are called Agora Valley, and a lot of people set up vending spots there. And then sort of down the hill from there, there is a number of tents that are set up by the PorcFest camp, and there's also the pavilion, which is a building on the property, and there's also a radio station. A lot of the podcasters and sort of those people build a sort of impromptu radio station in the main building and do all their broadcasting from there. And so there's always something going on. There's a show, or there's a speech, or there's a game show, or whatever. And then throughout the camps, people have all sorts of other activities going on.
Do they have music?
They do have music.
Music is important. Here we're looking at the...
What's a revolution without music?
Will there be dancing?
There's Buzz's Big Gay Dance Party. And then I guess this year there's a competition to Buzz's Big Gay Dance Party that's like the Goth Party or something. I'm not really sure. You'd probably find it if you clicked on schedule right here.
Sounds gothic. We'll open schedule. So this is the Porcupine Freedom Festival, and I can never spell this right. It's called PORC Fest. Not
Yeah.
with a K, huh?
Pork like porcupine, not pork like pork sausage.
Yeah, pork sausages.
Pork isn't short for anything, is it?
I mean, you could make an acronym, but dancing, cookie decorating, legislative actions, icebreakers, movie night. Oh, so you have electricity?
Yeah, some of the buildings do. And then a lot of people have like RVs that they rent and things like that, and so those will have electricity, or I don't know, set up a generator for if you want. It's sort of open forum, right?
Hey, build your own AR-15 workshop.
There you go. In case you ever need to build your own AR-15.
And friendship bracelets. So.
Right. So there's also sort of effort to make it sort of family oriented. So there's lots of family specific activities or kid friendly activities, and it's really kind of people come and do whatever they want. There's also a whole sort of parallel schedule that's not on this website called Alt Expo, where they just kind of come and do their own convention inside of the Free State Project events.
Do they have a website?
Maybe. I don't know.
I'm going to look for that. Then I can understand this thing, man. Because right now it says Yoga with Stephanie Murphy. And I clicked on it, and it's Stephanie Murphy from Let's Talk Bitcoin.
Yep, that's right.
Free Aid. So very cool.
Yeah, Free Aid does volunteer medical sort of response at the event.
Ah. Oh, wait, there's an Alt Expo, the roadmap to the...
Hang on just a second.
Very good. We're still hanging out here on Bitcoin Talk Show. Let me put the phone number up again. The phone number is 1-516-900-4926. That's for WCN, but it's not showing us up. So I'm going to take some more letters out of this and see if Google will show the whole phone number. Bloop. There it is. That's for WCN. I like the way that looks.
False alarm. Thought the place was burning down, but it was just Bitcoin crashing.
Uh-oh. It's because we talked about it, isn't it?
Right. We pull that kind of weight on this show. We make or break markets on this show.
Markets, make and break. Well, it's still at 448. Let me go back to a smaller. It's still up. It's doing fine. You must be looking at one of those markets from the future.
Yeah, I am. I am a split second ahead of you.
The time.
Sell. No, buy.
Buy.
Hold.
Alt Expo, the road to less traveled. This doesn't seem to be like. Shire Coda. Whenever I see Shire, I think Hobbit.
Yep, I think that is one of the implications.
Yeah, but that's not the point of those books, right? Like, if you really want to get down to it, I know that people who've seen the movies don't know the point of the books, but at the end of the books, which is the real Lord of the Rings, they come back to the Shire, and all the people who were isolationists who stayed at home in the Shire, their world got rocked, right? The outside world came into the Shire. The Shire was turned upside down.
Well, that's the Free State Project, man.
Well,
where all of these people in New Hampshire and all of these people, all these isolationists in New Hampshire are getting their world rocked by all the Free State Project people moving in and changing things up.
So you're the orcs in this.
Have I stretched this metaphor too far? I think I
want to be the orcs. I don't think you want to be the orcs, but yeah, I can see how you guys are like the orcs. That's you brought me to my other issue.
You get a ring of power, and you get a ring of power. Everyone gets a ring of power.
I don't have so much power going around, but yeah, that's my other. I don't know that New Hampshire really even wants the Free State Project. Like,
no, a lot of them don't. A lot of them do, but a lot of them don't.
Like, I mean, it's rough. You got to start somewhere. I agree. Like, and you got to choose one of the small states. Obviously, California's cool, I think. But it's such a large state, you're not going to be able to take it over. I would have thought Rhode Island. I mean, I guess it's already kind of entrenched with another certain suit-wearing type of fellow, so I don't know if you want to try to take Rhode Island. But as far as being the smallest state in the Union, I guess Alaska, Montana, like, I mean, there's another.
Well, there is a Wyoming. There's a Free State Wyoming, and I think there's a Free State Montana. I mean, here's the thing: this libertarian enterprise was chosen democratically in the beginning, so they chose the participants chose New Hampshire by vote, and the governor of New Hampshire at the time welcomed the project before he realized what they were doing.
Let's get all the troublemakers all together in your state. Okay. So I can see them in this picture. They look like troublemakers. The giant picture keeps scrolling by. I'm gonna put it back on the screen share, but yeah, no, like here it's coming up. Not these people. These people look like nice people, but not that. They're lighting fires. But yeah, so you're in their backyard. You're doing your thing. I mean, it seems like you might be able to take over one of the smaller states with less population first.
Well, why not just start with an island?
Is New Hampshire an island?
Let's all move to Hawaii.
Here it is. That's the big picture where they're like, we're back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you find me? I'm in that photo.
I'll bet you're wearing your orange shirt. So
nope, I'm not.
Oh.
I'm not. I'm in disguise. I'm incognito.
Incognito. That's what that means. So, yeah, the Porcupine Fest. Is this the same week as Bitcoin Chicago, though? The 22nd to 29th?
I have no idea. It is the day after Bitcoin in the Beltway.
Oh, Bitcoin in the Beltway.
Which I'm also going to.
Yep, in Washington, D.C.
That's the 20th through the 22nd at the Marriott Renaissance Hotel.
Sounds like a great time. There it
is.
Bitcoin in the Beltway. 43 days, 23 hours, 25 minutes. 10% of the proceeds go to benefit Sean's Outpost. That's cool.
Yeah.
Let's see who's going to be speaking there. Oh, look, Davi Barker.
There you go. Look at that. Tell me what I'm talking about, because I don't even know.
Let's see. Make it bigger.
Does it even say?
It says you're the editor of Daily Anarchist, the proprietor of Shiny Badges, and the launch navigator of Bitcoin Not Bombs.
It doesn't say what I'm talking about. I wonder what I'm talking about.
Director of Silly Titles of sillytitles.com.
Yeah.
And
I am the keeper of strange names.
Yeah, I gotta get some more titles.
I sell them, you know.
They come with the badges, right?
Well, titles come with certificates of authenticity.
That would be important, because you're going to need your certificate of authenticity.
Right, because what if somebody disputes your claim to whatever it is?
It doesn't say what you're talking about, but it does say that you're a writer, artist, merchant, and speaker, but more importantly, an advocate of peace, independence, and liberation from the state. A street activist in both the Tea Party and Occupy movement, Davi has rejected the W-2 9-to-5 world in favor of full-time agorism. He's also the editor of DailyAnarchist.com, the proprietor. I think it's going to say the same things that it said at the beginning.
Just repeat it. It's just going to repeat it. So, hey, look, I got wider.
That's very true.
Well, cool. I guess you guys will find out what I'm speaking about around the time that I figure out what I'm speaking about. I don't really know.
This looks
Um,
like the same Davi.
yeah, that's me. That's me, like 30% whiter, maybe
uh,
20%. I don't know.
Photoshop.
So I'm thinking about finding a way to present the authoritarian sociopathy stuff, the psychology of power and obedience, and sort of presenting it as when you beg for regulation, this is who you're begging from. Because I figured DC is the place for that message. Like, if you're gonna go to Mordor, say something about Sauron, you know.
Well, I mean, we're going to talk about the Fed, like Andrew Jackson said, like, the bank is trying to kill me, so I will kill it.
Okay.
All kinds of great stuff. Yeah, that'd be good. All right, so I'm inviting this guy who wants to do a mining tutorial. We'll see if he's available. But still, everyone can call in at World Crypto Network.
Are we expecting Derek on his show, or have we just completely hijacked this thing?
Well, Derek said he'd be here in about half an hour, but that was on Derek time. So,
Derek has his own time? I thought only ethnicities had
remember he
times.
told us at the meeting he wanted his own time. He said
Okay.
Pacific time and Eastern time were confusing to him.
It's
And
Derek Standard Time. Oh, right. You mean Universal Earth Time.
he wanted Universal Earth time, which was his time. So,
We should call it Free Time after Derek Freeman.
there you go.
What is it? What time is it in the free time? That would get confusing.
Zone, a free zone. I'm on free zone time.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't look like either of our callers from last time are online from Skype. Otherwise, one of the neat features of Skype seems to be is that I could call them right back.
Yeah.
The talk show that calls you.
Radio shows used to do that, but I think they outlawed it. It like violated some sort of wiretapping law to like call someone when you were on the air and broadcast it without telling them.
Well, you obviously tell them, but they just don't hear it.
No, because you can't prank them.
Yeah, they print. Well, yeah,
Like you can't call them and pretend to be a flower delivery service or something.
yeah, not anymore, I guess. Well, or you can't do it live because the Stern people they prank them, then they call them back, and then they say, hey, can we put your prank on the air? And if they have a sense of humor, they'll be like, oh, that's fine. And if they don't, then you don't get.
Those pranks weren't live. You've blown my mind. My worldview is shattered. Now my whole life is like a half an hour behind schedule.
It used to be live, and in England they still do them live. And they had that prank recently where they called Princess Diana, or it was the princess's room of the.
Yeah, that was stupid.
Yeah, well, and like the information they got wasn't funny. It went on too long, but they certainly lost their jobs for that. So.
Right. They didn't get arrested. Didn't they get arrested?
I don't think so, but it was possible that they violated like the royal privacy. So.
The royal we. They violated the we.
You know, the royal we, the editorial.
The we are not amused.
I hear they're overspending anyway. They take in more than they put out. They put out more than they take in.
So who else do we got? Jeff Berwick will be good.
Jeff Berwick.
There's Christoph Atlas. It'll be cool to meet him in person.
Christoph Atlas.
Angela Keaton, MK Lords. This is a good list.
Zhao Tonged, yeah.
I'm pretty sure Andreas Antonopoulos is on this list.
Check out, they put him towards the bottom, below Patrick Byrne, below Davi even.
I don't think that is a measure of value.
Yeah, it's just random, I'm sure.
I think it's that he's earlier in the blockchain. I think that they add to the top of the chain as they confirm people, maybe. I don't know.
Chris Odom's going to be there from Open Transactions. I talked to that guy. Stephanie Murphy from Let's Talk Bitcoin. Tatiana Moroz, the singer who now has her own altcoin.
Does she really? I hadn't heard that.
She's working on something on top of Mastercoin, similar to Let's Talk Bitcoin coin. I don't know the details because there aren't any. Vitalik Buterin, creator of Ethereum, the much lauded young programmer. Wow, Cody Wilson, Dark Wallet. Antonio DeOrio, very cool. He's been on the Bitcoin group before. Jeffrey Tucker. Just saw him interview Tatiana Moroz. Wow, Whitey Cracker, So you got a nerdcore rocker there. That's pretty
What's
cool.
nerdcore?
Nerdcore is like rap, but for geeks.
Okay.
It's mainly MC Chris. Not well. MC Chris doesn't want to be nerdcore, so I'm not gonna put him in there. But MC Frontalot does, and they made a whole documentary about nerdcore rising, and
Is it
about
like the Keynes and Hayek rap battle? Would that be nerdcore?
yeah, that would be nerdcore. Also, like
That's
there's
some good stuff.
there's a guy called MC Hawking.
That's a
Uh,
good name.
MC Hawking is like a Stephen Hawking character that raps and does
I've
like
never heard of him, but I can tell by his name that that's quality
he's
stuff.
so great. He's really good. And then MC Frontalot's good too. So we've got someone I've never heard of, Sex and the State. I don't know what that has to do with Bitcoin.
That's probably the name of her blog?
It's the name of her blog or something. Her name is Kathy Reisenwitz, which sounds like the lady that does Kathy the comic strip, but I don't think that's her. Oh, she's using the default WordPress theme. Gotta like that. I don't know. I guess it's just this big thing about drug addicts
That has nothing to do with Bitcoin.
and GOP war on women, mainstream media's pot paranoia. It seems like a general politics kind of blog. Liberty Fest, is that one of your things?
I haven't been to that, no.
Dude, I wonder if Liberty Fest is a Tea Party thing.
Maybe.
Pork Fest is like the Liberty thing. So it's just like the way Bush used to name his programs, like the Clean Sky Act would destroy the skies.
Sure.
Well, this blog got more interesting. Belle Knox. Oh, this is that girl at Duke who is a porn star for school money.
Okay.
Yep, she goes to Duke, and she decided to raise money by being in pornography. So, CoinPunk, the HTML5 wallet guy, is going to be there. Very cool. Jason King, Sean's Outpost. How about that? Elizabeth. I've never heard this word said, but Plochet.
I'm not sure.
Yeah. And then Charlie Shrem. That might have to be one of those like talking robot things. One of those moving around robot things.
Is he still in custody?
I believe he's under house arrest.
Okay. I'm in favor of keynote robots. I think that's the way of the future.
Well, they were just talking on Derek's show yesterday, and let's go ahead and bring it back in because I watched Peace News Now from Sunday yesterday. But they were talking about Condoleezza Rice, and she was supposed to give a keynote address somewhere for college kids, and they revolted because she's obviously a war criminal, and they said instead, why don't we get Edward Snowden to deliver a keynote address via robot? At first, I thought that get Edward Snowden like a trap, like get him to come here and deliver a keynote address, and then we'll nab him like with a big net. But they mean a robot of Edward Snowden.
Yeah, he did it. It's called a virtual presence or something to that effect, right? That's what Sheldon Cooper called it. He did a TED Talk via virtual presence that was pretty good.
Sounds very cool.
I like it. I like the idea that if that becomes normal and audiences begin to accept that as a sort of means of talking, it's going to open the doors for a lot of people who aren't willing to travel because of the TSA, which means a lot of these brains that are currently sort of stuck in their dungeons will be able to reach broader audiences at these events. So I think that's really cool.
There you go, the brain-to-brain connection of Google Hangouts and virtual presences. Let's do a couple of stories from CoinDesk. Bitcoin bill payment services taking off around the world. That sounds cool. I'd like to pay my bills with Bitcoin.
Sure.
Of course, they're talking about BYLLS, a Canada-based bill pay service. They're talking about Living Room of Satoshi, an Australian-based bill pay service. And Quantified, a Singapore-based bill pay service. And Bitcoin's an Argentinian-based bill pay service. Tukar Cash in Indonesia. Botcoin in Thailand.
What? Thailand has Botcoin? I thought they banned it.
Thailand-based buy-sell exchange Botcoin is doing well for a country where Bitcoin's legal status was once questioned.
Once questioned. I thought
Users
it was
can
banned.
also use the site to pay bills for landline and mobile phones, internet service, and cable TV, plus power from Metropolitan Electricity.
So you're
So
telling me in the first country that banned Bitcoin, they are ahead of the U.S. as far as adoption. Is that what I'm hearing right now?
I'm hearing from CoinDesk, we can confirm that Thailand, the first country to ban Bitcoin, is now ahead of the United States in the ability to pay your bills.
Well,
But we
clearly U.S. regulators should be ashamed. They should be doing more to ban Bitcoin to promote adoption of Bitcoin.
we just haven't been banning Bitcoin hard enough. Let's ban it more. I don't know if you watched This Week in Cryptos, but it was great. He brought the ban hammer down on Ohio. He's
Okay.
like this little puppet. He does the This Week in Cryptos show. It's a weekly wrap-up of Bitcoin news every Saturday on worldcryptonetwork.com. Subscribe on YouTube. But he does the news, and it's fantastic. And he brings the ban hammer down on Ohio because Ohio banned alcohol from Bitcoin sales for no apparent good reason. So,
Just alcohol for Bitcoin sales, so you can use Bitcoin, but you can't buy alcohol with it?
yep.
How do they know?
The Bitcoin Boulevard Restaurant Project made the mistake of asking for permission. So when they asked for permission, the people who are in charge of alcohol, the Department of Public Safety, said that Bitcoin was too volatile and that the issue was not worth their time. So they banned it. Basically, I don't know what the argument is. If your Bitcoin suddenly went up in value, you would buy drinks for everyone at the bar, or you would buy so much alcohol that you would die, I suppose, is the argument. Or if your Bitcoin went down in value, you wouldn't be able to buy any drinks or pay your bill, and maybe there would be a crisis because of that. I don't understand. If the bar is willing to accept the risk of taking the drink on, and again, you probably wouldn't run a tab if Bitcoin was being really volatile that day. Like, you run a tab and suddenly it's
Just
worth
leave the tab open until it crashes again? Or spikes, I guess.
your tab's all there's a little price checker like right by the tab, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna wait until I paid right now. You actually have a buy and a sell set based upon the pay. Like,
Are you speculating, or did they really say that the problem was if Bitcoin raises in value, people will buy a round of drinks?
they didn't speculate what the issue was. They said that it was too volatile. Let me pull up the article, but let's see. Yeah, it's great. Ohio imposes bizarre ban on alcohol for Bitcoin sales was the headline from Crypto Coin News. Give them a plug. And so here's what they say. Bitcoin cannot be accepted as payment for alcohol in the state of Ohio. And the reason is because, and again, this is just thanks to the IRS as being lazy, which is what Chris J called it. He's totally right. It's intellectual laziness to say that it's a commodity just because its value changes. They say because Bitcoin's price value fluctuates so much, it is more like a commodity and not recognized as legal currency. Therefore, you can't use it to buy beer, question mark, question mark, question mark.
But you could trade a commodity for beer.
Apparently not in Ohio.
Maybe I'm missing something here. But lots of things are volatile, and if I wanted to trade them for beer, who cares?
Yeah, I don't understand their argument at all. This is other places on the street will be selling ice cream, haircuts, food. Ice cream and food are a lot like beer. They both go bad. They're both food items. Like, you consume them, you pay for them. It's pretty straightforward. But instead, the Bitcoin Boulevard organizers asked for, they asked for permission, and this is what they got. They got kind of crushed. Several of the retailers are bars. They sell mainly beer, and they're now not going to be able to participate in this Bitcoin Boulevard, which is a really cool idea. Although it doesn't look like they spell Boulevard right in this example. But
when I was a kid and I wanted to do something questionable, I used to go to one parent and say that the other parent already said I could, and then go to the other parent and say the same thing. Therefore, both parents, as long as they didn't communicate, I didn't fathom that parents might communicate, but they would both think the other parent had okayed it. Now, I happen to know that government agencies don't communicate very well. So what would happen if you tried this with them? Like, you wrote to, ATF, and you said, hey, the Treasury already said I can buy alcohol with Bitcoin. And then you write to the Treasury and you said, hey, the ATF already said I can buy alcohol with Bitcoin.
That's the great part right here is going through the article again. The guy says the Federal Alcohol and Tobacco Trade Bureau gave him the go-ahead. But
So it
the
doesn't work.
Ohio Department of Public Safety finally issued an official response, and this is Bitcoin cannot be accepted as payment for alcohol in the state of Ohio. Which is just a beautiful way of saying, leave Ohio. Leave Ohio. Like, you're being ruled by idiots.
Well, if it's not a currency and it is a commodity, then it is not a payment. It is a barter transaction. So I don't see how this has anything to do with anything.
Well, I mean, you know, I agree you could barter, but you'd have to barter with the bar individually now, rather than just have the bar put up a sign and say, we're going to take your Bitcoin.
Why not? I could put up a sign that says, hey, I'll trade a gallon of milk for 12 eggs.
They don't want to lose their liquor license. Remember, the liquor license is the key of power here, and they can't lose that.
Well, there's the original act of asking permission right there.
They do have a license to sell alcohol. They are bars. It's their fault for being licensed. Our next story is when payments become political weapons of mass destruction.
Oh my God, what a horrible headline. Who wrote this? People really need to not be flippant with these words. Weapon of mass destruction is a very serious collection of nouns.
Apparently, it says it was published by John Matonis.
Okay, who's that?
John Matonis is the executive director of the Bitcoin Foundation.
Well, that's really irresponsible of him. I'm very skeptical of people whose initials are JM after having read the Illuminatus trilogy.
I've read the Illuminatus trilogy. What was JM again?
There's lots of JMs. It's the Justified Ancients of Mumu. It's Jason Monroe. It's Joseph Malik. It's there's like 12 different, and then it becomes part of the conspiracy that people whose initials are J and M are somehow part of a plot.
Oh, it's just one of the best books ever. Every chapter is completely new. And I read the other one too, the Schrodinger's Cat trilogy.
Oh, that one. I think that one's better, to tell you the truth. It doesn't have as good of a title, but it is, I think, a better book to stand alone.
The title is better than the other one. The story is more epic, but yeah, the Schrodinger's Cat is actually I forget who it is, but it's really interesting characters that you're following around, like James Joyce and Sherlock Holmes or something like that.
Yeah.
It's a strange mixture of fictional and real people in real trouble.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, but yeah, what they're saying here is that Visa and MasterCard are having trouble because Russia is requiring foreign credit card bans to post $3.8 billion in security collateral. So,
we got somebody on the phone.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
I sure can.
until I muted you. But now you can unmute yourself, is fine. So we're joined by Technol from Minomatic. So, but yeah, you have to unmute yourself now with the software unmute on the click button. But
yeah, I hope you're not live.
No, we're live.
We are live.
Oh.
Hello, Davey. Hello, Thomas.
Hey, how's it going?
How's it going?
Fine,
What's on your
fine,
mind?
fine. I'm trying to set up my camera, but I can't seem to get it to work, so I can explain on how to set a grid seed up with a Raspberry Pi and how to mine Dogecoin.
Do you have a screen share option on the left menu? You can try to share your screen if you want to just show a command line type.
Yeah. Because I tried to install a program, Minicam, so you can see my feeds and my screen at the same time. But let's try. Yes. So you guys.
You can always try rebooting. Oh, there we go. There's a video. Hello.
Hello.
So what's your name? Sorry.
I'm Bjorn van Overmeren. So I'm the developer of Minomatic.
All right. So Bjorn. All right.
Yeah. So I've been viewed in your show.
Yep.
So in today's show we're going to explain on how to set up a grid seed. So I have one here in front of me.
All right.
So this is a grid seed. And then for the other viewers, here we have the Raspberry Pi. But if it's fine for you, I will explain it all in about 20 or 30 minutes.
All right.
Because I thought we were not live yet.
No worries. We'll just keep
So
going with some stories, and we'll just
yeah.
keep you in the background. You can get ready. But yeah, it's going to be a very interesting interview. We're going to talk about how to set up a grid seed and how to mine for Dogecoin. So what I'm seeing here on this Visa MasterCard issue is that it looked like Russia is banning American payment methods inside of Russia. This is an incredibly...
What does that mean? I'm confused. Russia is banning American payment methods like Visa and MasterCard?
It sounds like unless they pay a certain amount of collateral deposit per day, which Visa and MasterCard are saying are onerous and actually exceeds their annual returns from operating in the country, that they're going to cut them off. They seem to be also going after them with the way that these companies store their data. So, excuse me, they say that they must base their processing center in Russia with transaction data to be maintained within Russia. So this is really an interesting article, despite the sensationalist headline. And what they're really saying is that currency is becoming a battleground, and that we are seeing two countries, obviously Russia and the United States, two of the largest and richest, most technological countries in the world, essentially having a little bit of a cold war over their currency here. So obviously there's other issues where the United States accounts on several Russian large bankers, large money clients. They froze their accounts in the U.S. systems because they had the ability to do that. This has pissed Russia off. So I would say this is Russia's response to that. The Obama administration shut down their accounts. Now Russia is going after Visa and MasterCard, essentially pushing them out of the country, it looks like. What do you think, Tavi?
I don't know. I feel like Visa and MasterCard enjoy such a privileged position. Like, they're not really free market agencies anyway. They subsist off of sort of favors from governments that they occupy anyway. So I don't know. I mean, if you want to use an international currency in Russia, use Bitcoin. I mean, I don't know what. Like, can you imagine if Russia had said? Imagine if Russia had said, yes, you can use Bitcoin, but only using the miners that are located in Russia.
That's essentially. I mean, that could be a restriction that they put on Bitcoin in the future. And again, but look what they're saying here: the nationalist, isolationist fervor of what Russia's saying. Like, we want our transactions, our information about our people, and also in the wake of the Snowden revelations. Everyone knows that everyone is spying on everything now, right?
Right.
It used to be a paranoid theory, but now it's 100% fact. The U.S. government is not benevolent, at least in the case of data collection, right?
We've been joking about a Fed coin or a Gov coin or something like that, but if we're talking about a currency war, if there's one thing I know about war, it's that the way you win is you name your weapons correctly. So maybe one of these countries should rename their currency something like Patriot. Like, imagine if that was the price mechanism, right? Like, oh, this bottle of vodka, that's 13 Patriots. And you could use a little P with a line through it.
It does say that Russia is inspired by China's Union Pay. And that I know China, part of their reason for striking down Bitcoin and striking down, I think it was called a QQQ Pay, something like that. They had another digital currency payment system, was essentially jealousy. Essentially, the Chinese government was jealous of people using currency that they didn't control. And that's essentially what Russia's saying here, too, is that Visa, MasterCard are, for all intensive purposes, currency.
Too hard to control.
They're too hard to control. They're outside companies. And Russia, at least today, and this might just be a negotiating move, they might pull back from this. Obviously, Visa and MasterCard are important. Transacting business is important. Russia can't stop doing business, right? But if they had an alternative, maybe if they had Bitcoin, again, it's just like China and Bitcoin. If you get
and that is still outside control. I wonder if there's a parallel, right? Because Visa and MasterCard are, I don't know, I think they're probably international companies at this point, but I think they were originally American companies. So I wonder if there's an example in history somewhere of America's reaction to a foreign financial entity coming in and setting up shop in their country.
I mean, the main example that comes to me, and it's not an exact one, is with the opening of China. China was closed to outside influences. America and other countries wanted into China to trade. They eventually had to get the Chinese addicted to opium so that they would trade for the opium. So the similar kind of like barriers that are being set up, we're going back to a very old time of, essentially tariffs. Like we're blocking companies from operating in your country because the companies are so incredibly powerful and so incredibly well organized. Essentially, it's like the Dutch East India Company is being blocked from operating in Russia.
I mean, that's kind of like going all the way back to the original like Boston Tea Party. Like that was about a tax on tea, right? That was about sort of like commerce in the colonies was sort of they wanted that England wanted its cut of the commerce boom in the colonies, and so like that was a sort of like it's interesting. So like sanctions in international law are considered an act of war. So I wonder like at what point does a tariff or a tax become a sanction? Like, if you tax something so heavily that the company actually says, never mind, not participating in that market, how different is that than a sanction?
I believe it's just a degree of difference. It's a diplomatic degree. It's
right.
What tool you're using from the diplomatic playbook, and that it starts out as diplomacy, it goes all the way to war. So,
right.
like on your line between war and diplomacy, sanctions are strong. And again, it's about competition of industry. The things that the United States has done, whether on purpose or not, has crushed farmers in other countries. Factory farming, pesticides, genetic modifications, other options which have made American farms stronger have crushed other farms. And that's an industry change that could be solved and could be protected by tariffs. But a lot of these countries have entered into no fair trade agreements. Sorry, fair trade, but it's more like no fair trade. But yeah.
The unfair trade agreement.
And obviously they're still negotiating incredible agreements. The TPP, which would link Europe and the United States, is being negotiated. And also the Asian agreements, the East Asian economic agreements, are still being negotiated as those countries unite into economic spheres of influence to fight each other, basically to have combat in the economic arena.
You know what it is? It's fair trade, F-A-R-E. Trade which requires a fare.
Requires a fare. That's hard to explain. Like free like beer.
Right.
Free like beer. That whole argument there. So actually a good article from John Matonis, even though he's got the scary headline and he's publishing it on CoinDesk. I don't know why that is. The Bitcoin Foundation has their own blog. They have their own website. You'd think if they wanted to have their guy write for them.
Maybe it's there too.
I don't know. He tweeted it as being on CoinDesk, so I'm gonna retweet him on CoinDesk.
Maybe he likes to get off-site when he has something important to talk about.
It could be, but CoinDesk, like you were right on the headline, because I have heard things about CoinDesk becoming more tabloid these days, less of a serious news site. They used to pay their journalists. Now I'm not sure how well they're paying them. So it's tough to say. There's a lot of demand for Bitcoin. Yeah, this guy says, seeing me without the hat and glasses is freaking him out. Well, it's also I shaved my head, so that's like a big change. But it's summertime, so less hair. But Davi is making up for it with more hair. Show him, Davi.
Yeah, so you can see. Big. Letting it poof out. My hair has to get pretty long before it starts to behave.
Yeah.
But you can definitely see how gray I'm going. Look at that.
It's just sparkles. It's just speckles.
Right. It's sawdust or salt and pepper or something.
So I don't know what happened to Derek. We were supposed to fill like 30 minutes of the show, and then Derek was going to come in and save us. But before
I want to start a gray pride movement. I'm not ashamed of having gray hair. I've had gray hair since I was like 14, and I'm eager to have the solid white hair thing going on, like Gandalf or Herschel or something. I think that's something that people should be proud of.
The obvious comparison is that there's never been a captain of Star Trek with gray hair.
Oh man, is that true?
But Cisco was bald, right? So
Cisco was bald. Picard was bald. Picard was gray when he had hair.
He has a gray ring, but he's more predominantly bald, I would say. And then obviously Kirk is defined by the hair, and the hair's power over women, much like Riker.
Right.
You could be a Riker though. You've got Riker hair right now, maybe.
Nah, I want to go gray.
Well, just keep worrying. It'll happen.
Just keep worrying. Yeah, that's it.
You're obviously on your way. So let's see our next story today. Checking in with the old Google News, which is of course a great way to get your news. The Living on Bitcoin project. No, not the movie. The series of articles from the Forbes writer, Kashmir Hill, who recently tweeted me on Twitter. Very cool. She's doing it. Oh, look, new on Forbes. Annoying things that pop up and make it harder to read articles. Good work.
Yeah, that's unacceptable.
Good work. Because that's what we want. But she's living on Bitcoin again a year later. Isn't this exciting, Davi?
Yeah, I guess.
We've been in this a year. She's doing.
How long has she been? Is she like completely off the dollar? Is that what she's saying? How long is her stretch?
Okay, well it's 7 days, so don't get that excited. The other people that did the movie, they lived for 90 days, but we haven't seen the movie yet. We hope to see it soon. But this article is out, and she did a little book on last year's articles. And so far, her first day of this new 7-day stretch, she had a bit of a rough start. She didn't attach a transaction fee to pay the miners to her Bitcoin, and so they didn't send right away, and she had to wait 67 minutes to get a confirmation. So she wasn't able to buy food at the grocery store, so it was a pretty rough start. It's also still not a lot of restaurants and businesses in San Francisco that accept Bitcoin, which really surprises me. You'd think after a year it would be a lot better. It's still pretty much sushi and cupcakes. I guess there's a ramen place that also takes Bitcoin. We're getting contacts on Spike? Oh, these same people, I think. Where do I watch the live show?
I don't know.
People. All right. So, but still we're with Kashmir Hill, and she's got some Bitcoin left over from last year, so they're worth more now. So that's excellent. And then day 2, she went to your backyard, Gavi. She went to Palo Alto in the Coupa Cafe.
I haven't been there.
She bought coffee with Bitcoin. It's the only place in 60 miles of San Francisco that she can get a cup of coffee. You can even buy it right there off this QR code from their register. You can just send them money. But yeah, this guy right here, Jean-Paul Coupal of the Coupa Cafe, be glad to hook you up with some coffee for some Bitcoin.
I wonder if anybody reading this article did just send him Bitcoin for it being there.
They probably did. They like to do that. There's this whole thing now where you show someone a QR code and they give you $24,000. So
Is that the thing now? I hadn't realized.
it happened once, so it must be a thing.
It's a trend.
Also, other things that happened is the Follow the Coin people went to the Talladega race. Did you hear about that?
I did not.
Follow the Coin is a little blog, a little video blog that they do about YouTube, or it's on YouTube, and they do it about Bitcoins and Dogecoin. And they went to Talladega. Let's see if I can find their Twitter. It's over here. Very cool. And they're asking people where they go for the news about Bitcoin and Dogecoin. I guess we should answer them? No. Tip Tuesday. So, somewhere they have some pictures. There it is, the Doge car. Got an autograph. There it is. Because as you know, Davi, the Doge car was featured in the Talladega NASCAR race this weekend.
It does seem to make Dogecoin more real that it has a car.
Well, it had a car. But it was very cool. I got to cover it live on TV. And I got an exclusive interview with the Doge car itself. Somewhere in here. But it was very cool. A lot of good shots of the Doge car. It almost got in a lot of crashes, and it avoided all of them. Here's actually some video. These are 7-second Vine videos from the NASCAR show, so hopefully we can show them because they're 7 seconds and very reasonably short. But we are kind of rebroadcasting what was rebroadcast. So there's a risk there.
It's important to be thorough.
Yeah. I like this one on the right. Look at that. A heck of a crash. Obviously, NASCAR is still very much about the crashes. But you see, and there's the Doge cart drives right by. Isn't that great?
Doesn't even stop to see if they're okay.
Leaving the scene of a crime. You're right, Dobby. There's
Such
a lot.
indifference.
Such indifference. Wow, much indifference. Criminal negligence. And then, of course, this car was on fire because they were smoking too much inside. So that can be an issue when you're on a NASCAR track. Too much smoke. And then I had some live interviews. And
I'm pretty convinced that crashing is the point of the show. I think the driving is sort of... The track is really just the pretense to make the crash spontaneous.
Oh yeah, that does look like they made a animated GIF out of this one on the left. They put the Doge in there. It looks like they used this as the original source. It looks great. And of course, this guy was wearing a tire. Attire. That's funny. It's funny to me.
It's tire attire.
Tire attire. But yeah, it is about the crashes, but it's also about surviving the crashes. So, as you can see here on the left, this white car was headed right for the Doge car, but the Doge car goes right by on the outside side. Right there. Woo.
That's what you want in a quality cryptocurrency right there.
Yeah. The ability to handle fast transactions. Oh, here's the start. When it started, the NASCAR guy said, "Boogity, boogity, boogity! We're underway! The checkered flag!" Something like that. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing at 200 miles per hour, boys and girls. So, very excited race day. We also had my parody video that we did of the Fall of the Coin. It was pretty funny. And it was Star Wars Day. So, heck of a day this Sunday at Talladega Speedway. Just a little coverage there. And of course, our friend at Phneep, 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 made this incredible Mad Bitcoins Beyond Thunder Doge graphic. What do you think, Dobby? Heroic, huh?
I dig it.
Yeah. The Doge in the background.
Beyond Thunder Doge.
Yeah, it makes me want to watch that movie. Everyone's all about it. I've only seen the first one. The Road Warrior.
That one looks like the poster from the first one, not the second one.
Oh, the first
The
one.
costumes just look like the first movie to me.
The first one is just the original Road Warrior, and I think it's him walking away from the camera on a empty road, because the first one was actually an independent Australian film. So the second, well, I guess.
Oh no, there it is. Look at it. It is Beyond Thunderdome.
Yeah. Let's see. Derek is having personal issues and will not be able to be here today. It's sounding like. So, but we do have a picture of the Road Warrior, the original poster. There it is, the Road Warrior. Apocalypse, pow, exhilarating entertainment. The Road Warrior.
He's so young, it's weird.
Mm.
I wonder if he was as crazy back then as he is now, or if fame did that to him.
You know he was. You've seen the first Lethal Weapon movie.
Just because he was scripted to be crazy doesn't mean he's authentically crazy.
You could tell the way he was in that movie, like that he was crazy. Let's see. See, it's not coming up. Coming up, Mad Max 2. Mad Max Thunderdome. There's the original. Oh yeah, I've been to that place. That doesn't surprise me.
To what place? The Thunderdome?
Yeah. This one right here.
It's a real place?
Yeah, Burning Man.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Looks just like that.
Yeah, I've been to Burning Man.
Like this in the movie, I guess. And it's like 2 men enter, 1 man leave.
They don't even let you use a real chainsaw at Burning Man.
They let you use foam mallets to beat on people.
Yeah, it's still fun though.
Here's an original version of that Photoshop poster. They actually have Mel with some gray hair here, or maybe it's just a patch or some kind of design.
It's because he worries so much. That
No,
cross.
Too
the
much.
guy who did your avatar, it was really lovely. No,
Yeah.
it was a great piece of artwork he did for you.
Yeah, he's really cool. He's the same guy that did the Uncle Sam logo artwork that he did with Mad Bitcoin.
Oh,
Like,
nice.
trying to bring up his website, but it's not coming up. Ah, there it is, Philippe.com. And he's done some other Bitcoin related artworks, little Reservoir Doge, 300 altcoins, one perfect meme. Now all they have to fear is each other. It's a great film, Reservoir Dogs. I could totally watch that again.
Have you guys seen the movie of Bitcoin, or is it not released yet? Because I saw it was in van premiere.
There's a movie. Is it a romantic comedy?
A
I hope
boy,
so.
a
I hope
girl,
so.
and a cryptocurrency, they all get together. It's very romantic. No, I mean, the movie is a documentary. I think it's called The Rise and Rise of Bitcoin.
I was hoping it was a sequel to You Got Mail.
You got mail.
Do you
Actually,
remember that? That was a sequel to Sleepless in Seattle. See, each one of these movies is like how that generation communicates, right? It used to be they'd put something in a want ad, then it became they exchange emails and destroy each other's small businesses, and then now it's the Bitcoin version would be sort of like the opposite. It would be the thriving small bookstore takes over the Fox books.
I love that movie. It's much better than you'd think. Nora Ephron wrote it, and all the Godfather references that Tom Hanks makes over and over again.
Yeah.
For a woman's movie, it's full of surprisingly great guy lines as well, such as his explanation of going to the mattresses. And
Well, Hollywood has learned that. Hollywood has learned that to keep men in the date, they have to throw one-liners in there occasionally.
I like them. I like a surprising number of those romantic comedies. They're light, they're fun, they're nice to watch.
Sure.
Yeah, this movie is more like a documentary about Mark Karpellis and Charlie Shrem, who at the time were kings of the world and now are both slightly in trouble. So it's a really interesting slice of Bitcoin's time history around the time of, until December of last year, maybe 3 to 4 months before it is when they were filming, I believe. And yeah, it's a very interesting time. I hope to see it. It's one of those things with a film where if they really want to make any money of it, they're going to have to keep it away from me. And by the time it gets to me, they better have already made their money. So right now they've shown it at some film festivals. I think they have a trailer out. I watched the trailer, but it hasn't been released, which means that it hasn't been leaked and it isn't everywhere yet. But soon eventually, if they can get into some festivals or make some money with it, maybe they'll release it and then it'll get leaked and then it'll be available to everybody. So it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be a while though. You might be able to get a Discover card that looks like Bitcoin then. Something like this. Oh, Bitcoin.
There you go.
It's everywhere you want to be. The Bitcoin card never expires. In the
Unless it does.
21st century Bitcoin Discover. There it is.
I like it. I like the orange one. I'm partial to orange.
The orange is nice. This one's got the classic 80s sunburst though too, so it's good to have the two different.
It looks like a Discover card.
Yeah, I think it's patterned after a Discover card.
Yeah. Is the orange one patterned after something, or is it just what is it? I don't know. 80s, 90s, and 20. Okay, so yeah, okay. Well, there was no Bitcoin card in the 90s, but all right. What does that mean?
Your imagination, man. That's what in the 80s when you used your Bitcoin card, this is what it would look like.
Oh, okay.
And it's Discover card. It's versions of the Discover card logo.
Well, where's the Bitcoin personal checks before credit cards?
You'll have to make some. This guy says the 80s one is a rising sun motif. I like the expiry date. Yeah, it's the old Discover card credit design. Actually, this is the new Discover card design here with the orange.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's
putting the B on the O is confusing. I wouldn't do that.
pretty basic like that. I think, well, that's how like Discover card looks, I think. So. Discover ring. There it is. Discover network. They have a sun. They've moved the sun into the O. See, and it used to look like that. So pretty sharp parody work, man. Pretty much on it. He didn't do this one, and he didn't do this one here, and these motorcycles are totally out of context. But,
Yeah.
so let's see what else he's got. Philippe. We all remember this guy.
That's great.
He'll make you an offer you can't refuse, and then he'll buy your exchange and lose all your coins. Ah, 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 ah. Of course, we've got one from the recent Newsweek story, Finding Nakamoto.
That's all right. I don't know. Not impressed.
Not impressed. Not impressed. Let's see what else we got. Fiat Jenga. It weebles and it wobbles as the debt piles up. It teeters and it totters till your savings goes plop. They make a bond from nothing and then they sell it non-stop. They gotta feed that tower, printing bucks for naught.
That's pretty cool. I like the concept of it.
Even more money edition. Yeah, it's cute. The bills wouldn't fall quite as well as...
Does it come with a quantitative expansion pack?
Bitcoin, Wendy's logo. Old-fashioned digital cash. That's nice. I feel like we're browsing an art gallery of logo transformations and movie posters.
Yeah.
Guess that's what we're doing.
Cryptocurrency with the Coke logo is clever.
BTC-E. It's the exchange as a robot.
Day trade.
Day trade, crypto. Let's see, Coca-Cola cryptocurrency. Let's look at that one. Oh, he's also got Doge crypto. That's funny. There's Diet crypto. That's the Doge. No other ones though. He could do more sodas. That's a rich vein right there.
Yeah.
Let's see what else we've got going on around the old links. Got a new notification on Twitter. Bitcoin Plan B favorited our tweet. A favorite when it's not good enough to retweet, but good enough to favorite.
I think the reason to favorite stuff is that you can pull up your favorites. It's sort of like an archive.
Yeah, favorite's an archive of cool stuff. Favorites like bookmarking and retweeting's like sharing.
Yeah.
I can see that. Let's see what else is going on. The SEC warns that Bitcoin's hype may put investors at risk. Aren't we lucky to have this government that warns us all the time?
Yeah, I'm so glad that someone is warning people that investment involves risk.
I know we've seen the collapse of the currencies, the collapse of the housing market, the collapse of stock. Even Apple stock went down in value. But now they're warning us about Bitcoin risk. Yeah.
I don't know of an investment that doesn't involve risk.
Any new product, technology, or innovation such as Bitcoin has the potential to give rise to both frauds and high-risk investment opportunities. That's good to know, SEC.
This is like high school economics class. What is this about? like of course it does.
They're warning you of the risk because you can't accept the risk. You can't handle the risk.
Oh, okay.
Because you're like a little child, and they need to take care of you. And that's why they've warned you all of the risks in the past, right? You got their other warnings, right?
So each Bitcoin should have like a Surgeon General's warning on it, right?
Like a cigarette pack. This Bitcoin may go down in value.
Yep. This digital currency includes the risk of loss.
I am typing. Can you hear me?
I can. I can't make out what you're saying, though.
I'll type slower. Maybe that'll help. I was just going to send out a tweet to the good people here and say that they should call in to Bitcoin Talk Show.
Supposedly there are algorithms that can tell what you're saying by typing stuff. I don't know if that's true or not, but this is what I've been told, and I believe everything that I'm told.
I guess.
Yeah, I think also it's possible, but I think it depends on which kind of keyboard you use, because if you have like an ultrasonic microphone and you know which kind of keyboard you have, then it's very possible.
That sounds cool. I'd love to see a demonstration of that.
I'm not so intelligent.
Well, I mean, they can do lock-picking demonstrations. Like, they could do a demonstration of that.
True.
I'd watch it. The Road Warrior. We'll go back to Davi Cam while I clean up my tabs.
Davi Cam? I have my own camera?
Yes, Davi, what's going on in the background of your camera? It looks like things have moved around. Why don't you tell the people what's going on?
I have moved. So, I have a stack of canvas tiles that I've had for years. They're like, well, they're right there. You can see them. I have nailed them up on the wall, and this is so that I can draw on the wall. Okay. So when I'm bored, or maybe if I take notes, or I think I'm going to start keeping an inventory of these T-shirts on the wall. I've decided I'm going to use the wall as a notebook of sorts, and I'm going to turn my office into a completely interactive expression of what's going on inside my head, so that I can work more efficiently in this space.
Very cool.
And then, periodically, if there's something up there that people like, I think I'll sell off these tiles, because I still have like 20 of them. I can replace them if I need to, or whatever. So maybe I'll doodle up there, or who knows. It's an interactive art piece.
I keep telling my artist friends that all they have to do is put a Bitcoin logo in their art, and people will buy it. So we'll see if that's true. Like, consider that as an option, like drawing some epic Bitcoin logos with some decoration. And
I had been brainstorming Bitcoin-related art. It's a little tough because it's a very abstract thing to try to like express in a visual, artistic way.
You all remember the famous Renaissance painting of Satoshi discovering the first Bitcoin, and the light coming in the window, and the quill pen that he was writing with, and the large book, and the astronomer's desk. I think we have
if maybe I should do a version of the First Supper, and it can be that the Christ figure in the painting will be Satoshi, but it'll be like so blindingly bright you can't see his face, and that's the anonymity. And then the apostles will be like Andreas Antonopoulos or Charlie Schramm or whatever, and they'll be all gathered around eating that first pizza, and it will be sort of, people will understand that that's the First Supper.
The first pizza. I think that's a great tie-in there, because then you can have the Papa John's box, all the that kind of imagery there.
So you call it the First Supper instead of the Last Supper.
Okay, so obviously, like, I'd like to see Mad Bitcoins included, because that's a funny image, because I've got a hat and goggles. You can put yourself in there. The artist always puts himself in.
I gotta sneak myself in some sort of sneaky way.
Well, I mean, you just have to be one of the. Is there a waiter at the Last Supper?
I don't think so.
I think it's mainly these guys. But yeah, that'd be good if it was Satoshi in the middle. Although I guess Satoshi'd have to wear the anonymous mask, maybe like Zotonged.
No, I think it's got to be a blinding light. He's got like a white face.
Like a golden Bitcoin, maybe.
I don't know.
It's definitely where the light comes from. But here's the astronomer picture of Satoshi first discovering Bitcoin. Something like that. Be cool. But.
And he's doing what, like putting his hand on the monitor to be like, yes, now I bestow upon you, computer, of this algorithm.
That's how the algorithm was transmitted. Very few people know that, but it went from Satoshi's hand to the monitor. It's a divine transference of algorithmic property.
Right, exactly. Because Satoshi has transcended the keyboard.
He's beyond keyboard. He's Satoshi.
Right.
Of course, if you make the Last Supper, you're leading up to the crucifixion of Satoshi.
No, because it's going in the opposite direction. This is the First Supper, not the Last Supper.
Oh, very good. I like Time's Arrow. Have you read that?
No.
It's this great book by Martin Amis, and what he talks about is a world where time is going backwards. So instead of eating food, you puke up the food, and the food becomes food on a plate.
I've seen this episode of Red Dwarf.
Yeah. I mean, this one's a little darker, because it turns out that the character's job in the past was putting ashes into ovens and bringing people out.
Weird.
So to him, it was like a cool job, because he was doing all this good work, right? In reverse, right? But in, of course, forward vision, we know what horrible thing he was doing. So it's a great book. It's really thoughtful. and just this basic idea of a world where time is going backwards and the people are going, essentially, instead of being born, you go back up inside your mother and you go back to being, a sperm and stuff. So
It's like that Brad Pitt movie where he gets younger over time.
absolutely the Benjamin Button. Also, Philip K. Dick has done one. It's called it might be called Time Out of Joint, I think. I read 3 or 4 of them at the same time. It could be a crack in space, but yeah, he has the same thing where actually the dead are waking up from their graves, and people's jobs is to hang out at cemeteries and to listen for new dead people that are waking up. And you tell them, hey, welcome back. Time's going.
Do you think it'll be a boy or a girl? Do you want to check or wait until it comes out?
Gotta dig them up first. Dig up their graves. What if 2 people were buried together and they wake up together? There's all kinds of options. Buried in the wrong grave. Confusion.
Sure.
But yeah, when time's going backwards, you never know what's going to happen.
People coming to the surface of a lake and suddenly jumping up onto a bridge and into the trunk of a mafia car.
Right back into the trunk. They're helping them. They were drowning. Pulled them out of that river. Then they wrapped them really tight in some stuff and put them back in a safe trunk.
Because that's what you do when somebody has hypothermia. You have to wrap them up very tight.
You have to wrap them up tightly, take them back to their office, and let them out like everything's going fine. If you really think about it, that's what was the brilliance of this book is, all of our horrible actions put into reverse seem really nice. Like, before a fight, you smack the person a couple times and then pick them up and dust them off.
Yeah. But then there's also the church groups that go around poor neighborhoods and smack money and food out of poor people's mouths.
That looks the same backwards as forwards, huh?
I think it's pretty awful to go around and take things from poor people.
When you look at it backwards, though, they're going around giving it to them.
Or all the adoption agencies that steal children from middle-class families and abandon them in Africa.
That's cold, man. I can't imagine just thinking about you pick up a child, they're having a great adopted life, and you take them back to Africa.
Thomas, sorry to disturb you.
Sure, no problem.
I'm ready for the explanation for the mining.
All right, let's go.
So we're gonna give it over to Arn, and he's gonna talk about how to mine Dogecoin with a grid seed.
So we have a grid seed. So I don't know. I think there's a bit black. Yeah, now you see it. So I'm going to attach it. You also need a Raspberry Pi and an SD card of a minimum size of 2 gigabytes. So mine is a micro SD with a converter. So you can see it here. It's very small, of course. So let's put it back in. So here you have the Raspberry Pi. Here you put the USB connection of the grid seed. On the other part you put the Ethernet cable, of course. And but first of all, we're going to put Debian, so the operating system of the Raspberry Pi, on this USB stick. So I'm going to put this in my laptop, and in the meantime I'm going to switch my screen to my desktop computer, to my laptop. Share screen. So I also went already to the website. So for the people who are following, here you see download torrent or download zip. So the link is just www.raspberrypi.org/downloads. I don't know if you guys see the screen in big size or Thomas.
It looks good. It's good size.
Okay. Okay, so then you just download it. Let me switch to the other screen. Let's pick my desktop. That should be better, I think. I don't know if you guys see my desktop.
It looks like it's frozen in between, but there's a good chance it's working for the people at home.
Yeah, okay. Let me just put in the SD card. Yes. So then you go to the website. Well, after you have downloaded the Raspberry Pi image, you have to pick the Debian Wiz. If you don't pick the Debian Wiz, it won't work. After that, you go to Downloads, DSD formatter. What this does, it changes something on the structure of your SD card. But I will try to share the screen. The run program. Let's try again. So I'm just going to launch the program and share it that way.
Sometimes Google Screen Share loses its mind. It's part of the new Google.
Yeah, but today I tried Minicam, and there you can do like professional overlays, but for some reason it didn't want to work. So first I'm going to share this screen. So now we're at the part of downloading DSD formatter from that website. Also, in the meantime, you have to download a Win32 disk imager. So that's to put the image you have downloaded from the Raspberry Pi website. That's going to put it on the SD card and set it fully up for you. So go back to another full screen, share screen, and hope it works. So then you start up a DSD formatter. I hope you guys see it. And those, then you get the program. Hold on. Sorry for all the interruptions, but it's Google lagging a bit. So here you've got the program SD formatter. Make sure you select the proper drive. You can give it a label name, but the most important thing is if you go to options, there you have to put it on quick, and format size adjustments, you have to put it on. Then click OK, and then click on format, press yes, OK, and then we have to wait a bit. Then you can exit the program. Then if you have installed Win32 disk imager, you have to start up that program. I will put again a share screen. It's here. Yeah. So here you click on this button. Oops. It went away of the Google sharing. Here you select this button. Then you have to go to the version where you went. Of course, you can't see it. But here I selected the image. I downloaded it from the Raspberry Pi website. So as you see here, you see it's the Wheezy version. After that, you just click write, and then you have to click yes, I want to continue, and it starts to write to the SD card. So it will take a couple of minutes. So I will, in the meantime, we can talk about something else. So Davey, how did you get into Bitcoins?
How did I get into Bitcoin?
Yeah.
I was writing for dailyanarchist.com, and it was a paid position, and I eventually got promoted to editor, which was a slightly better paid position. And then Daily Anarchist abandoned the dollar when the owner found hosting that he could pay for with Bitcoin. He then sort of abandoned his dollar advertisers and adopted sort of click Bitcoin-related advertisers and began paying all of the writers in Bitcoin. So I was essentially told, hey, take Bitcoin or you're fired. And I was like, okay, I'll take your crazy digital video game money. And I just sort of started accumulating it because I was going to be writing anyway. So I was happy to be paid anything to blog. And so it just sort of started accumulating in my wallet, and before I knew it, I had quite a bit of money in there. So out of a sort of wise investment strategy, I spent most of that early Bitcoin on gold, but I did okay. An abundance of caution on my part.
That's a great idea.
How long are you
totally off the dollar?
Yeah. So yeah, Daily Anarchist doesn't touch fiat money anymore, and that's kind of what inspired me to make sure that Bitcoin Not Bombs didn't touch fiat money. Everything on Bitcoin Not Bombs is Bitcoin. You can't buy our stuff with dollars. Although I guess you can on shiny badges. Maybe I should change that.
Yeah. How long are you into Bitcoin now?
At least a couple of years. When I opened my first Bitcoin wallet when Bitcoin crossed the $1 mark. But I did not have the foresight to put any money in it. I just sort of wanted to see how it worked.
So that's about 4 years ago? Yeah.
Yeah, and so I guess maybe 2.5 years ago is when Daily Anarchist started really sending me money. I don't remember what it cost at the time. It was probably like $3 or $4. And then I really started accepting it as payment and vending and took sort of shiny badges more seriously when it was around $30. So this is how I measure time now. I don't really know what year that was. It's like there's AB and BB, but AB, meaning after Bitcoin, is not measured in years. It's measured in price. So.
Yeah. Well, I think we have passed I think Bitcoin has now become mature.
Yeah. It's definitely showed resiliency over all the sort of panics that people have gotten over the years, Hasn't been hacked yet. The blockchain itself hasn't been hacked yet. Nothing has crashed yet. There aren't really...
Yeah. But I don't think that's going to be an issue, because if it gets hacked, they can just reject a certain kind of blocks, and maybe change the algorithm to something different, I think. Not that my knowledge of the cryptographic is so big, but...
And the idea is released too, so even if something fundamentally goes wrong with Bitcoin, there's no reason that some other version of it, like a Dogecoin or a Namecoin or something like that, doesn't replace it. We are living in the age of blockchains now, and there's no putting that genie back in the bottle. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's impossible to stop it now. I can't wait till they launch that satellite with the blockchain in space.
Yeah.
Well, it would be a nice idea, but I don't think it's going to make it. I don't know.
You don't think it's going to make it? What do you mean?
Yeah. How much do they get it from? How much donations do they have so far?
I don't know.
I should look up that website.
I think the way to get Bitcoin into space is to just take a wallet or something, find some way to get a paper wallet into space, and then just have people send money to that wallet. The only access to the Bitcoin is there, and if you want it, develop a spaceship and go and get it. And eventually it's going to be valuable enough that somebody's going to take the time to go and get it.
Yeah. Maybe some alien race.
Right. Bitcoin proliferation on foreign, off into other solar systems. We should just shoot Casacious coins into space to demonstrate to the galactic community that we've evolved.
Yeah. But what do you think about dark coins? It's very stable, I find it, and it gets a lot of attention.
Dark coin?
Yeah, is it, as far as I understand it, it's a safe coin now? It's purely a safe coin? Yeah.
Well, yeah, anonymity is the attraction to cryptocurrency, so, there's obviously going to be people developing that feature. That's what people want, right? So...
Yeah. But isn't then competition anyway for Bitcoin or Litecoin or any other coin? Because in the beginning, Bitcoin and Litecoin was between I don't know how you say that in English. Between that, it was designed for anonymity. That's how I learned to know Bitcoin and Litecoin, because
Mm-hmm.
So and now you go to dark coin or another safe coin. So maybe in a sense it's a big competition for Bitcoin or Litecoin. What's your thoughts on that?
I think that's okay. I don't think we're going to see a world of one currency ever again.
Yeah.
I think that there are going to be particular features about particular currencies that appeal to certain people. And I mean, like even now, there is that crowd of, if you're not doing anything wrong, what do you have to hide? They're not going to be attracted to a dark coin, right? Like they're going to be attracted to, I don't know, Fed coin or Gov coin. So I mean, like the demand in the market is always different. Like there are always going to be people that want different colored T-shirts. There are always going to be people that prefer Apple over IBM. Like actual free markets don't sustain monopolies very well. So there's no reason that there should be a monopoly on currency. Like this is sort of the point of exchanges, is to demonstrate the sort of the price mechanism between competing currencies. So. I think it's all good. I want to see 1,000 of them.
Yeah. But how many coins do we have now? Let's have
I'm sure there's 1,000.
Yeah, now there's like 100 officially, where you have like a market caps. It's like you say, I think you have like a dozen coin. So yeah, and dark coin keeps on going up. So here we had his highest point.
Cool.
But yeah, I'm surprised it's doing so well, because most coins when they get released, they only go lower and lower and lower of value. But dark coin is like a different kind of story. So.
Well, the name is
That's
right.
the Infinity coin. Yeah, that's true.
I mean, Dogecoin, as sort of much of a joke as it was, it sort of demonstrated something, and that is that, I mean, we are talking about memes, right? Like we're talking about the subjective value of these currencies to some extent is the connotation of their name, the connotation of the community that circles around them, the sort of the atmosphere or the environment of the market ecosystem that you're participating in by using it. Like all of these things are going to attract different sorts of crowds, right?
Yeah, sure.
So
sure.
It is kind of a marketing thing, and Darkcoin has the right name for a crowd that really wants those features. So
yeah,
I think that's really good.
But isn't it? I've heard a couple of times now that Dogecoin is how do you say it? In the future it will cost too much to keep Dogecoin mining. How like?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's all about the enthusiasm of the participants, right? Like how long will that go?
Yeah, true. But it has a very, 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 very great community.
Mm-hmm.
There was at the Dogecoin convention that if the price of Dogecoin didn't go back up, that people would stop mining it.
Yeah.
So, and they've merged mining with Litecoin as a possible solution to that.
Yeah.
They don't seem to like that.
But I would like to have to see Dogecoin ban ASIC miners. So I only use the ASIC miners for experimental use, but.
Well, you've got the ASIC script right there. What's the speed on that? How much does it mine?
It's 360 kilohash. If you can solver it. Hold on, I have one that's open but is broken. Hold 2 seconds.
Sure. But just to go back to some of the stories you guys were talking about a minute ago with the space thing, let's see if Google can give me my menu back. It's hiding it off the screen. There you go, Google. All right, but yeah, Jeff Garzik is trying to put Bitcoin into space. He's trying to launch satellites. Satellites are very cool. They look like this. It's a CubeSat. It would have solar panels, as you can see, pretty much everywhere. And inside, I suppose, a copy of the blockchain. Obviously, the greatest hack would be to hack this, right, Davi? Like you could reach up into the sky and mess with that copy of the blockchain. That would be something.
I mean, I suppose. It's not going to, as far as that protocol is concerned, it's not going to get priority over all of the other ones.
You don't think we should alter Bitcoin so that the interstellar nodes have priority to make my hacking plan work?
No.
And here we have a grid seed that's open.
Oh, very cool.
But I repair grid seeds, so if they're broken, I try to repair them.
Have you found that the connectors come loose where they put the USB plug in?
I haven't had that one, but there's one transistor loose, so I have to fix that. Thomas, if you want, you can give away a free game on your show. It's for Battlefield 4. Hold on, here's the camera. So posted it through your tweeting account for the World Crypto Network. So you decide on who does it get. Right. So they will receive a serial number. So then they have to register it, etc. So the first come is the first to serve, how to be served, or how do you say that?
Well, we'll see if people start tweeting about it. We'll see. Tune in live, do a free game, and we'll see if they manage to figure that out. But I mean, we've been doing some giveaways this week, so that'd be cool. And so you guys are talking about Bitcoin in space. The current Bitcoin in space account received 42 Bitcoins in donations to send Bitcoin into space, and only has 6.66 left in their account. Their most recent donation was 2 Bitcoins, a very nice transaction. They also had a 1 Bitcoin transaction here, and several smaller transactions. So there is interest in the Bitcoin community in sending one of these satellites into space. I don't know if we have enough money yet, but if people keep donating, I'm sure that Jeff Garzik will get it done.
Yeah, and of course it will draw a lot of media attention as well then.
Yep, another great story for media and Bitcoin in space. Space.
So the SD card is ready.
All right.
So now we just have to put it in the Raspberry Pi. So for the people who have a grid seed, don't forget to connect your power supply for the ventilation, because if you don't do that, you don't have any accepts. So plug it in here, and you see that the ventilation starts spinning. But for now, I'm going to remove it for the microphone, else it's going to be too windy. So I will plug the rest of the cables in the Raspberry Pi. If you use a bad power cable for the Raspberry Pi, you will only have a right LED, and it won't boot the Raspberry Pi at all. So be sure you have the correct cables for it. So now it's booting. One thing I forgot to mention is if you're on a local network, you have to install Angry IP Scanner. So it's a free IP scanner you can use for your own purposes. So, but for now we were just going to scan the local network to see what the IP address of the Raspberry Pi is. After that, we're going to install an SSH client. So we're going to use PuTTY for that. So let's select the Angry IP scanner. Hold on. The is used with Java. So you have to make sure you have Java installed on your computer, and it's open source. So here we have Angry IP. Yes. So here I will just give in the range. I'm going to pick one, and here 150, and just press start, and now it's scanning. And we have to wait, but I know it's this one. Normally, if you hold on, I will try it again. Show details, no rescan IPs. Yeah. But now we have to go to PuTTY. So if you have find your Raspberry Pi, then you open PuTTY. But I will switch screen in a second to it.
That's the same SSH client I used to use when I used Windows. Good old PuTTY. Man, that's
Yeah, it's the best one there is. So I will change again. I think people who are watching this video afterward they will say all that screen switching. So here we have the address of the Raspberry Pi. So I enter open, and yeah. Then you get a new connection box where you get a PuTTY security alert. Warning, potential security breach. But you know you're connecting to your Raspberry Pi, so do not worry and click yes. After that, you have to fill in your username and password. So the username is Pi, and the password is Raspberry. So Pi Raspberry, and then you have entered your Raspberry Pi through a terminal. So after that, we're going to update the Raspberry Pi. So you do aptitude. And if you press tab, the word gets filled. So like if I only have an apti, I press tab, it gives the rest. Aptitude update, and then it will starts to update.
And Aptitude is a program that lets you install other programs, right?
Yeah. But here you say it gives an error, so I have to do sudo su, or sudo min is, and now I do it again.
Sudo super user do.
Yeah.
Sudo make me a sandwich. I just made my own sandwich, but it wasn't raspberry, it was strawberry. So very close.
Yeah. And now we have to wait.
Very strange audio there for a minute. Not sure what happened. Very cool. So it's downloading more packages,
Yeah.
parts of programs that things run.
After that, we're going to. I think it's lagging on my side. Hold on.
Everyone should say hello to the Dogecoiners who are joining us via Twitter. You are witnessing a live grid seed demo to mine some Doge. What do you think so far, Davi?
This is all a little over my head, but I like seeing the nuts and bolts, even if I don't have to turn them.
Generally, this is more of a first-time setup, wouldn't you say? Once it gets set up, it's more like just starting it again, right? You wouldn't have to do all kind of install stuff, right? So.
Yeah. And once you have made your default SD card, you can just copy it over. Of course, never forget how you can think I can copy an SD card, but before you do it, you have to use the SD formatter and set up those options like quick, and the other one was just put it on. Forgot what it exactly was. But you can see it if you rewind the video a bit. So you have to do that. Then if you go to Win32 image, you just click select the image, and then you can write again. But to create the image, I will show you at the end. So I'm going to share the screen back, so it's updated. So now I'm just going to do Raspberry config. Then you get a new screen, so we're just going to reallocate the file system. So because my SD card is 8 gig and it was made for 2 gig, so now it will use the full card. So you can also, of course, change the password, change all other kind of things to the Raspberry Pi. So I'm going to press tab 2 times and click finish. Would you like to reboot? Yes. So now it's going to reboot. And we will have to wait a few seconds till it's back up.
All right, we do have some people on Twitter that are asking for an update on the Win a Free Game contest. What kind of game are we giving away today, Bjorn?
Battlefield 4.
Battlefield 4, what system is it for?
It's for Windows or for no, I don't play games, so.
Okay, but it's like Windows. It's not an Xbox game. I just want to.
No, it's a Windows game.
I
It's a
want to
Windows
give it
game.
to someone who can play it. So it's more of a like I want to meet the need of the person. So let's see. We'll ask the person. Our first person here is Crypto the Rock on Twitter, who we're showing
Yes.
up right now, and we'll see if Crypto the Rock. Let's see. Do you have? Because I don't want to give it to someone who already has it too.
Yeah, true.
And do they need a special video card to play this or anything?
No, they just have to have like a. Yeah, if your video card is like 1 year and a half, you will be 2 years. You will be able to play it perfectly. It's a shooting game.
All right. We've also got some interest from Crypto Though, who says, "What's the deal with the B4 game?" He wants it. So we're gonna have to see if Crypto Rock can use it first. Obviously, we want the game to go to someone who's going to be able to use it. That's just, you know.
Yeah, true.
Oh, Crypto Rock already has Battlefield 4. So I would say that he's relinquishing his claim. So now it's open to Crypto Though, who has to, of course, I'd say they have to be watching us live, right? So we should put some kind of a question out there. What's the secret question? Let's see. How about what's 6 times 7?
So in the meantime, I'm going to log back into the Raspberry Pi so everybody can follow. So we have updated the Raspberry Pi. So now we're going to do sudo -s. Hold on, I was typing on the wrong screen. Yeah, and then we do apt-get install. I will copy because it's a lot. You will see. So you have to do apt-get install min-y build essential tool and so on. But afterwards we're going to post the guides in the show notes also for the people who want to have like a quick overview of the commands you have to use. So I'm going to press enter, and now it's going to install again additional packages. And of course you have to wait again a bit.
Just to update, we do have some more claims on Twitter, but we're waiting to hear from Crypto Though, who was the first, actually the second person to write in. We do have a third and fourth person who are interested in the Battlefield game. Let's see.
Well, I have three more left, so but maybe every week you can give away a free Battlefield 4 game. It's your decision. I don't play it anyway, and it's from my mining card, so.
Well, we'll see. I mean, if we keep doing demos, we'll see if we can keep giving away Battlefield 4 games that are just, you know, extra leftover. This is a person-to-person thing, not an official contest or anything, but just fun so people can play a game. And one person offered to, we did have an offer on Twitter where a person offered to suck our 8 == right bracket. But that offer has been withdrawn. He says maybe not the last part, but he would love BF4. So
I believe that means 8 is extremely equal to less than.
yes, there's a lot of extremely equal less thans going on in the Twitter feed these days. But of course, you know, when that happens, you just got to favorite. So that's what the favorite button's for. Got a good Twitter. Lord of BTC at the Lord of BTC on Twitter says, "I have Battlefield 4. We should make a huge LAN party with crypto guys on Twitter." I like that idea. I'd like.
Yeah, it's lovely. It's lovely.
I think this will be fun. I was interested in recently. I was thinking about how to set up a Minecraft server. Maybe if someone had a Minecraft server that was full of crypto people, we could play and have fun. And I was looking into Twitch TV, but I didn't get too far because I couldn't figure out how to log into my Mohang account. So.
But then we would be able to create a mad Bitcoin world. What do you think about that? It would be lovely.
A whole world. I mean, I like the idea. It doesn't look like running a server is that easy, though. It seems like you really do have to run a server. So maybe there's someone else's server who is already really into Minecraft who wouldn't mind some crypto people hanging out, and we could have a little section. But totally open to that if there's some serious Minecraft people. I just play casually. I think it's fun.
Yeah.
But there's way more information about Minecraft than I know. So I would like to get one of those little mapping plugins for Minecraft. Really, that's one of my main problems is finding anywhere. I usually end up making roads. So.
I don't know anything about Minecraft. Haven't even played it.
Oh, it's delightful. You get to. It's like a graphic. It's like playing a video game level editor, but you're actually playing the level editor. So you're just moving blocks around and making new things, and it's very much like Legos. It reminds me of just original fun. ECC USA is asking, what about Doom? That's a classic. Yeah, I remember Doom. I remember when Doom came out, the very first demo, you could download it, play the first few levels for free before you downloaded the real Doom. But,
do you remember before Doom there was Wolfenstein 3D?
Of course I remember Wolf 3D. That was one of my first big 3D games was the Wolf 3D.
Yeah.
The quest to kill Hitler. He had 2 giant machine guns. I mean, it's really an incredible game.
That's a long time ago.
Yeah.
I was like 14 years old when I went to a computer club in that time. But then you were like a nerd.
Yeah.
See, and that's what's so strange now. Like, I used to carry around my CD player everywhere so I could listen to music, and then I got a mini disc for a while, and I was all about the music. Now, everyone's all about the music all the time now. It creeps me out.
Yeah.
They all look like a bunch of nerds, but I know they're not. Like, they're not all nerds. So.
Yeah,
what if they are all nerds?
But what is a nerd? I think everyone has a different kind of definition on it. Like people could like look at this and say like that we are nerds. So it's all in what kind of perspective you place it.
Absolutely, we've had some nice comments on Twitter that people like your whiteboard.
What whiteboard?
You have a whiteboard behind you, I think it looks like, and everyone's like, "Oh,
Yeah.
that's a big whiteboard." We used to have those in one of my apartments. So it's great.
It's just a big wall with all the things I'm doing with cryptographic. It's like pools on websites about coins, decide by web coins, and all that kind of things. Mining stations. It's all my ideas about Bitcoin and cryptographic in general. But thanks for the lovely comments.
Yeah, I used to have those in my apartment. My roommate was a computer programmer, so he's very big into having boards everywhere.
Ah, nice. But so here you guys see that ready again. So I'm going to do wget https / and so forth. So the CG miner you're going to download is from Underreads. So it's someone on Bitcoin Talk who made a custom version of a CG miner. That link you can also check. It just goes to a Dropbox where you can get the source and so forth. So now I'm just going to download it. It's pre-compiled, so you don't have to compile it again. So it has been downloaded. So now you're going to have to do chmod 777 on CG miner. So now it's all ready. So now we're going to create a config file. So for creating a config file on Linux, you have V or Nano. I prefer using Nano because it's easier if you don't know all the commands. So you just do Nano Dojo, for example, press Enter, and you get a new screen. But I'm going to show you how. I'm just going to copy and paste it because it's a lot of text. So hold on. Yep. And now the screen has been updated. So here is all the information you have to put. So of course, don't mine with mine mooning on my pool because I use a fast pool to mine Dogecoin.
Unless you want to give him money from your miners.
Yeah, that's true. That's always welcome. So donations are always welcome. But I do it just to help the community. So. So you just have to put in your address and the port. So, but Fastpool, this port is specially made for ASICs. Then you have to put in your worker username, and your worker password. If you go to GridSeeds options, you can change the frequency. 850 is the maximum. If you put it lower, you will have a lower hash. If you pick API port, because I use my own program to monitor different kind of things, I have my API port open. I make it listen, and for now I just have to put it all the IP addresses open. So for people who don't use the API, you can just remove those 1 or 2 lines, or just do API listen false. Hot plug is just when you plug in your USB, so it detects an additional grid seeds, etc. So I'm going to save this config. So I did Control X. So I press yes, Doge, then I press enter. If you know the command screen, what screen does, it creates a new screen, like the word it says, away from your normal terminal. So if you would close PuTTY, that screen would still keep running in the background. So first I'm going to press enter. Enter again. Now we're in the directory /home/pi. If it wouldn't be like that, you just do /cd home pi, and you're again in this directory. But now we're going to execute cgminer. So we do ./cgminer minus C. Mine C from config and just doge, press enter, and it will start mining. But it says no USB detected because I haven't put the grid seed on, so I will connect it. I did Control C, so to cancel the operation. So I'm going to connect the grid seeds in 2 seconds. So the grid seed is on. You guys can hear it.
Go, grid seed, go!
So I press up, press enter again, and you will see it will start mining. So here you see the grid seed. So it's booting up now. And there you go, mining Dogecoin.
Alright, very cool.
So here you see you already get the accepts. So in the beginning my mistake was that I didn't get any accepts. Why? Because I didn't put the ventilation on. So if I cancel, I remove the ventilation. The fan, sorry. I start it again. You will see you will not get any accepts. You will see it mining, but you won't see any accepts. I don't see if you, it's AW0. So it will just keep on 0, but you're mining at 360 kilohash. So don't let yourself get fooled, because if you overlook that, you think you're mining, but you're not. So
always plug in the ventilation. If you had to break it down into steps, what kind of steps would you say there are towards setting up this miner? In like 4 or 5 steps.
First, just start up your Raspberry Pi. Make sure all the lights are on. Hold on, I will do the. So here you have all lights.
Right.
So first, disconnect all your cables. Just have the Ethernet cable in it, and the good power cable. After that, you have to look at the lights. If you see green lights, then it's fine. If there's only one red light, you have a problem. And most of the time, it's the power supply cable. or if you connect it to a monitor through the HDMI, then you have a problem as well. Then so disconnect everything and make sure you have the correct power cable. After that, you take your grid seat, plug in the USB, plug that USB cable straight into the grid seat. After that, the most important fan of the grid seat. And that's like it's 3 steps. So, but now the most important thing, we have made an SD card. So on this grid seats, you can put 50 grid seats. So one Raspberry Pi is then, for example, one station, but with 50 grid seats on it. So now we have one station, but only with one grid seat. So now we're going to put the SD card we made back in the computer, and we're going to open up a Win32 image. Hold on. Sorry, I'm looking left because I'm using 2 screens. So I've put it in the SD card. I've started up Win32 disk image. It's here, share screen, yes. So I'm going to look for a device. It didn't detect it, so I will restart the program. So yes, yep, it's detected it. Win32. So here we have again the same program we used in the beginning. So, but this time it's different. So here we're going to press where we want to save the image. So pick a directory and enter a name. So we're going to do test Pi. Oops, I think the screen went away. I don't know.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. It went back. So here you just see you have to do like a .image. Just to know, so it's an image. Instead of picking a write, you have to pick read. So if I do read, it starts to extract all the information of the SD card. Afterwards, if you make a new SD card, you have to use the program SD formatter first. So I will show it.
And so the reason you do this is if you had multiple Raspberry Pis, right?
Yeah.
So you
or in case something happens to your SD card, you have a quick backup.
And this SD card is the operating system that operates the Raspberry Pi and manages the grid seed miners.
Yeah, yeah. Just not managing. It just enables it to mine. If you want to have like an external program, like if you have like a desktop computer, and you have like 5 stations with each station 40 grid seats on it, then you have to use an external program to instruct your miners and to operate it. Because if you have one grid seat or one station with 10 grid seats, it's still possible to manually do everything. But the more stations you have, or the more grid seats you have, the more work you have.
And this is what your program Minomatic does, right?
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you for
Minomatic.com, right?
Yeah.
So if you've got more than 40 grid seeds, and if you've got more than 4 or 5 stations with 40 grid seeds on each one, you're going to have a heck of a management problem, right?
Yeah, true. Even from 2 or 3 stations, because if you go to EPU, you can of course also instruct like different kind of seeds or different kind of GPUs to different kind of pools. So you can be like an operator, yeah, on your own, yeah. On how do you say it? Yeah, just an operator. From one place you can instruct like 1,000 machines. It's the sky is the limit. So.
Nice. I know a lot of people like to change coins too. They like to mine different coins based upon the difficulty levels and what else is going on. So
Yeah,
definitely see that coming up, especially if you had so many machines. You'd want a variety of control options. So
yeah, true.
very cool. So we do have an update on our contest. We're giving away Battlefield 4 for PC, and I think we have a winner. Daniel W. at Drastic Raven has a video gaming PC, plays video games, and has an R9 280X, which sounds like a video card. So I assume that's going to be a good enough video card to play Battlefield 4 for PC, which is what we're
Yeah,
giving away a code for today. So we'll probably just have Drastic Raven hook up with what was your Twitter name? It's Silver C Due Silver Kudo.
Silver Cuda.
So yes. So we're going to say right here, congrats. You are the winner at Silver. Here you are, QDA.
Can you do my pneumatic after it, please?
Let's see.
Thank you.
Woo! Oh, we're getting a link to check the YouTube comments. So there are apparently comments going on the YouTube. Oh, we also have the question and answers. We haven't gone into question and answers yet. So if anybody's into that, let's see. Silver, here you are, QDA. Hey, it's me in the past. Hey, that's me in the past. There it is, Tommy. That's that time warp you were talking about finally happened.
There you go. Now, if only you could talk to yourself in the past and tell yourself to buy Bitcoin at whatever price, or maybe sell Bitcoin at whatever price.
Got a couple comments.
But wait a minute. If you went back in time and told yourself to sell Bitcoin at a profit, doesn't that mean that in the future you wouldn't have it anymore to sell? I'm confused now. Is there a space-time continuum problem with rigging the market with time travel?
The main problems be that we're on some kind of delay, so the people haven't heard about winning their video game yet. But they're going to hear. Plus, I tweeted them. But Crypto to Rock wants us to check out the YouTube comments on the live show. We've got what is actually being showed? Mining that isn't complicated looking. He says, "Hi there, guys." And Coin Artist says, "Hola, amigos." Very cool. Had a little comment action there. And then our second place winner, we need to give him something. So we're going to give him some red coins. We'll give him 10,000 red coins. But you see, this red coin tip bot doesn't really work. Like, I kind of told him about this, and I hate to show it live because, you know, they're the sponsor and everything. But you kind of have to paste the person's name in there. And then when you put the tip amount, it looks like it's all good. But then I click this button and it just so you got some minor issues going there, but I fortunately have pretty much memorized that you go tip, red coin, plus tip, something like this.
If people are interested for the next mining event, I can also explain everything on GPU mining using bumped, no Windows at all. Because if you mine, you have to mine stable, and Windows isn't suited for mining stable. Don't want to shoot anyone in the feet. Sorry.
Sorry, Windows.
Yeah.
And the runner-up gets red coin, 10,000 red coin, which I looked it up. That's about 30 cents. So not a great tip, but it sounds really good in red coin, right?
Yeah.
Javi, have you heard of red coin?
I have not heard of red coin.
Red coin is the coin of the week on Mad Bitcoins this week. That's right, coin of the week. They won a contest. Red coin is the social currency that enriches the people's social lives and makes digital currency easy for the general public.
Is there a blue coin?
There is a blue coin, but blue coin's in a different group of coins. Blue coin, I think, is more like white coin, which is like black coin. Which is a
wasn't it that water project that's called Blue Coin?
There might be. I know there's been several water projects. There's an H2O coin. There's a water coin, a water project coin. I know I just got an announcement on Twitter that there is a Cure coin, nothing to do with the band The Cure, but more about curing diseases. And they have a certain breakdown. They hope to cure diseases. I'm not sure what the details are. I'm not sure how legit it is, but it sounds like a cool idea. Cure coin. So just heard about that today. Looks like their launch. This article is from May 4th, so it's 3 days old, and it says the launch is 5 to 7 days. So it's very well could be still unlaunched. So we have an unlaunched crypto here that we don't know what's going to happen. So, Cure coin. Cool idea. Let's see what else is going on.
It's SHA or it's script or script in.
Let's see. Crypto to Rock says mining isn't that complicated. Looks like what's being showed.
The code. Can you give me your email address? I will send you the.
Yep, we're having the winner contact
the picture of the. Excuse me.
Yep, the winner is going to contact you on Twitter. Just go ahead and follow him back. He's a Drastic Raven. And we've also tipped some red coin to the runner-up. And I'm giving the runner-up instructions on how to use his new red coin tip, which is mainly you just use the Twitter tip bot. Davi, are you familiar with Twitter tip bots?
Yeah.
You mainly just say something like info or summary or balance, and the bot tells you the balance. Then if you want to tip some coins, you usually say something like tip this user this number of this type of coin.
Right.
And if you format it all right, they will get your tip. There's a bit of drama recently with Twitter making the tip bots essentially not work as well as they used to. Twitter has a new policy on users that you don't know mentioning you in an automated feed. So if you'll note this transaction right here, our friend PC Masta, who we were just chatting with, who's our runner-up, it doesn't put the @ sign in front of his name, so he doesn't know that he's received a tip. I said that I sent him a tip, but the system is incapable of informing him that he received the tip. The similar situation is going on in our Bitcoin and our Dogecoin, where I'm told that other tip bots, other than the official ones, have been banned from informing people about their tips. So you can send a tip, but they just can't hear about it. So.
Sounds like a free speech issue, except that Twitter is a private company, but whatever. I mean, it's funny, these firms are sort of like, they create this platform and then they get all sort of frustrating when it comes to trying to use them. I feel like a lot of like Facebook and Google, these companies do that a lot.
I know the latest news out of Facebook is all the non-profits and all the other people are starting to learn and realize that their information is not getting to their users anymore. They built up this great library of Facebook friends, but now if they want to send a message to all their friends, they can't, because Facebook wants them to pay to get that message through. So it's really, the whole walled gardens thing has turned out badly for them. They put all of their marketing into getting people on their Facebook page, and now they find that they can't reach those people.
Mm-hmm.
So there really is a gatekeeper and a walled garden, and your access to that information is not the same thing you'd have if you owned your own mailing list. So a bit of a wake-up call for these companies.
Have you guys heard about the story of Bitcoin and Litecoiners are donating more than 17,000 euro to Satoshi's Forest?
No, that sounds excellent. How did they organize? Do they have a local meetup group, or is it just an online?
It's an American outdoor homeless shelter from Sheen's Outposts. It's called Satoshi's Forests.
Oh yeah.
The collection.
Yeah.
How did the European group get together to send the money? Do they have anything in common? Like, are they soccer fans or just Bitcoin?
It's not really in it because it's only on a local news website that I'm reading it.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, I heard that Sean's Outpost had a lot of problems with flooding lately in Florida. There was apparently rain that was just in their area, unexpected rain, lots of it late in the season, and I think they might be a little underwater, at least a couple days ago. So,
No, but it's a nice initiative from the crypto community. It's good that they help people. That's what cryptocurrency stands for. Away from Babylon and just help through liberal and socialism.
absolutely. Let's see. I'm trying to get it on the screen here, but yeah, if you'd like to donate to Sean's Outpost, you can scan this QR code right on the screen to donate Bitcoin. And I'm going to keep this up just another minute there so you can scan it. Doot, 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 doot. And like we said, here's a big ugly block thing. Sean's Outpost takes severe weather in stride. They hand out 160 sack lunches a day, but they're keeping going even though there's a lot of rain. So they also delivered every day during the January ice storm. So Sean's Outpost is incredibly dedicated to delivering sack lunches and to having people camp out who are homeless. So if you'd like to donate to Sean's Outpost, you can use this QR code right here on the screen and donate some Bitcoin. And
Or you could go to the Bitcoin in the Beltway, and 10% of that revenue is going to Sean's Outpost.
there you go. You could also donate. They have a Dogecoin address. Just trying to bring it up here, but
I didn't know that. Sean's Outpost does Dogecoin?
They collect Dogecoin and they use it to buy food for the dogs. So it's a very cool project.
That's funny.
And the address is a little small here, but if you go to seansoutpost.com, it's right there on the front page that they accept Dogecoin. So Doge heads, go ahead and donate some Doge to Sean's Outpost. We don't have a QR code here, but I could look it up in Block Explorer, but I don't want to show how much money they got for dog food. But I hope it's a lot. So
Anybody have veterinary coin is any popular?
veterinary coin.
Yeah, because maybe I can use it for my dog. But I
like
would use
that.
Doge for my
I
coin.
like the idea. I think it'd be cool. I mean, I think it'd be cool if there was just a Doge address set up for animal help, and just if somebody administrated it like an animal help charity for people that have unexpected vet bills, because I know that happens. And,
Yeah.
and you know, we all have dogs and cats and stuff, I think, so that's really cool to all have animals.
True,
Well,
true,
I
true,
forgot a
true.
while ago, Theo wanted to call in. Maybe Theo's still there, still like to call in.
Can I just say one more thing?
Sure, go ahead.
I don't know for anybody that knows the Fedor Bank, it's going to use the Ripple network. Fedor Bank is a German bank, and it's going to be the first that uses the Ripple protocol to do transactions. So yeah, it's going to be the first European bank that integrates the American services inside their system. Fedor Bank is also very excellent on Bitcoin itself. It was also the first bank in the world that allowed cryptographic valuta in their services. So, like not so recent ago, they did Bitcoin derivatives. Oh, so they gave out some sort of compass. I don't know how you say it. Let me Google it. Derivaten, we say in Dutch.
Very cool.
Yeah. So go to the questions and the answers.
The only question we have is, how do I use Skype? from Theo Goldman, who's trying to connect to us now, probably learning how to use Skype. So
What you do is you go to Google or you go to YouTube and you type in how do you use Skype, and I'm willing to bet that a tutorial video will come up and explain it to you that was probably recorded with Skype.
you could always send them to let me Google that for you, that website. Let me Google that. I love that site. But it is tricky. Everything is available on Google, but you have to know to ask for it. And a lot of people don't know to ask for it. And really, everything is available. And that's what I think a lot of IT guys have learned. we used to kind of memorize everything and kind of trade secrets through the IT community, and people would know how to fix a networker and things right off the bat. But now you just kind of Google everything. It's a very strong option. Like, are other people having the same problem that I'm having? Like, probably yes. Like, really, unless you're really cutting edge, it's probably yes. And if they've had it, piece of cake. See, that's exactly what I'm saying. Like, people.
I think it's like we say in Belgium, but around the rest of the world, Google is your friend.
There you go.
I don't know if you guys say that in the US.
It used to be more. It used to be more friendly. Oh, looks like we're gonna
someone figured out Skype.
There we go. We're joined by Theo. Hello, Theo. You're on the air with Bitcoin Talk Show. And
can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. And Bjorn, go ahead and hang out with us. Stay with us here. Actually, we can see you, but you're upside down.
Yes, because I'm in the other part, and I'm on the other side of the Earth.
You're in Australia?
No, I'm joking. I'm in Germany. I don't know. Something's wrong with my computer, and I can't figure out how to get the camera right without.
Actually, I should ask your permission first, but I can screen share your image here. Are you cool with that?
I'm cool.
Okay, even though you're going to be upside down. But upside down from Germany, Theo, what's going on? You're on Bitcoin Talk Show. How's it going?
How's machen sich?
Good. I've been listening to most of the conversation.
Very cool.
I don't know what to say now. What are we talking about?
Oh, we were just finishing up the grid seed demonstration. What'd you think of mining some Doge with the grid seed?
It sounds pretty cool. I mean, it doesn't use a lot of energy. I don't have one, but I've been looking at them. I think the price will probably go down on them pretty soon, and I don't know. I'll figure out if it's worth it to really get them.
Now you can get them around 160 euro, and they use 7 kilowatts per hour. So in a typical European country, you pay around 20 cents a kilowatt hour. So yeah, it's much profitable than using GPUs in Europe.
Yeah, definitely. I think that mining in Europe in general is pretty much just too expensive.
I have heard that. It's I mean, what's nice about the script miners is that presumably you can mine a whole bunch of coins. So if you mine one of the new ones, and maybe if the new one you mine hits, maybe that way you'll be able to pay it off. But that really does seem more like gambling than mining.
Yeah, well, I mean, I can do that by trading. Why do I need to mine then?
There you go. You just whether you like to buy your bitcoins with electricity or if you like to buy your bitcoins with money.
That's true. That's true. That's a difference. But I think it's good to know how to mine and know everything behind it. And it's a good tutorial with the Raspberry Pi and it's not really that hard to do. I mean, it seems a little intimidating for someone that's never done it before, but it's not that difficult. It's not as difficult as it looks.
Yeah. If you do it on Windows, it's much more difficult. So.
Yeah.
All right.
You're right. The grid seeds don't use very much energy, and maybe I'm really wondering what's going to be the next generation, like grid seed number 2 or whatever, a small miner that really uses a small amount of electricity and still can mine something.
I know there's a more expensive model of grid seed that is much more powerful than the inexpensive model, so that could be already like where we're going with this. And again, it's just price kind of, I think, that gets you there. We are joined by a caller on the phone, so let's try to do this. So we have a guy in Hangouts, we have a guy in Skype, and we have a guy on the phone. We're on Bitcoin Talk Show. How's it going on the phone? Say hello.
Hi, guys.
What's your name? Where are you calling from?
From Queens, New York.
All right. What's your name?
Joe.
Joe. All right, Joe from Queens.
Twitter handle, PC Master.
Very cool. Oh, the runner-up in the contest who plays the old games. Very cool to hear from you, man.
Yeah, very cool to be here. Do love the show, definitely.
Thanks.
What's going on with the Raspberry Pi?
Well, he was just using it to mine some Dogecoin with a grid seed miner. So.
Yeah, we have like 10 grid seeds over here. My buddy is using the, I think he uses LTC Rabbit.
Oh, cool. So
you have them. You have it on You have one station, or you been different kind of stations?
We have it on one station. It's not on Raspberry Pi. It's on the Linux version of
So
Rabbit, I guess. Is that it?
excuse me?
Bjorn, is it called LTC Rabbit, a program that can run the grid seeds on normal computers?
I think it's Linux.
It's also it's also a Debian it's also a Linux operating system. You have different kinds of such versions. So you have Rabbit, but you also have
it's a version of SMOS.
yeah. The other one is Evo, I think. Hold on.
We're also looking into the KNC miner. Very excited about that.
Yeah, but it's quite expensive.
Would that be a pre-order for the KNC miner?
Yeah, it's the only one where on YouTube you actually see them opening them up.
Is that the one called Titan?
Yeah, it's the Titan. Yeah, it's about 10,000. Although the competition is heating up, so we think the price is either going to reduce or the megahertzes will be upped.
Very exciting, very dangerous game, the pre-orders, but it is heartwarming if they're opening them on YouTube. That does make it better.
Yeah, that was the test of choice. Make sure they're opening it up, because a lot of the other ones is hard to see. Like if you do a Google search, Butterfly Miner unboxing, you really don't see a lot of them. I hadn't.
We were so mad by the time it finally got here. No one cared to film the unboxing. I think that was a common theme. But
I wanted to tell you guys, you're doing an excellent job, and I do watch, and I appreciate everything you do.
Well, thank you, Joe. Thanks for watching from Queens. Very cool. And good luck with your grid seeds out there. It sounds like a good plan.
Yeah.
Yes.
And thanks for the kind words.
All right, bye-bye. Bye. Right on. Very cool. Heard from him. Still got Theo on the line. Still got Bjorn here.
Yeah, have you heard, there's that company in Canada, and they created a solar panel rig just to power, I think you can power 2 grid seeds with 1 solar panel. And they have a kind of interface with USB outputs and everything you need for grid seed or maybe even other miners. And yeah, it sounds kind of interesting.
Yeah, I hadn't heard about that, but I love the idea. I'd definitely love to see it.
I forgot the name.
I have had an idea that about that once for doing it with GPUs. Imagine you have a van. On top of it, you put solar panels on it. But now, like you said, it would be possible. So you just buy a van, put solar panels on it, and put all grid seeds inside of the van and drive around with it. No, I think it's like you said, it will be perfect possible.
That'll be awesome, especially in cold climates. You could keep the van warm as well.
Yeah. But the grid seeds.
Well, I had an idea. What you need is a fitness studio that specializes in bike training. We've got floors of people on exercise bikes. And you just use that to power all the miners.
That's a good idea. I thought we were going with the heat. You were going to say they should do hot yoga.
Yeah, you could have hot yoga too.
You know, all the kind of you could have a sauna driven by miner power and like vents.
So the hot yoga classes could fund the investment for the new miners.
I think this might be where they got all those ducts in the movie Brazil. Remember how everything was all ducted together? That's actually heat coming off their Bitcoin miners. It's going place to place. A little bit of futurism there. Look like we're joined by a dog. Bjorn's dog.
Yeah.
Hi, dog.
Hello. Larpie, stick out of the camera. Hello.
Your dog was named Raspberry Pi.
No, she's called Lorpie Cuda.
Aww.
She goes everywhere with me. It's my baby.
Yeah, my dog. Scratching it up.
It's a hunting dog. It's a hunting dog.
Very cool. Do you guys have any thought? We have a question from the sidebar. He says, "What do you think of the recent black coin disputes?" You guys heard any
disputes?
That was kind of my question. I haven't heard of them yet. I like black coin. I'm not active in their community.
What I understand, what I read today is they're gonna hire, or I don't know who they is. I guess the community is gonna hire some professional public relations agencies in order to promote the coin. That's all I heard. Maybe there's a discussion about if that's good or not. That's all I heard.
I imagine there's probably a discussion about that. It sounded like they were going to give the PR agency like $15,000 or something. So, but they said they had a plan to promote it, and if they're pros, they're pros. I mean, it sounded like a cool idea. If you have the money, I guess it's really what it's about. Like, I don't know how successful it's going to be, but it's definitely a way to spend money. So.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I think the NASCAR thing was pretty cool.
Yeah, the Dogecoin. It didn't affect the price though. I think a lot of people. I know we all wanted it to affect the price, but it didn't really. So.
Yeah. Well, I think Dogecoin halved recently too.
Yep.
And but that didn't really affect the price. But if you look at the if you get technical and you look at the chart, it seems like it kind of has hit a bottom, and it doesn't look like it's going down anymore.
It does seem about 100 or 105. It seems to go down to there, and then it pops back up to 120s, that kind of range.
It went on a few days. It was down to like 80 or 90, but then it hasn't. So there's like a resistance level around 100 or 90. It doesn't seem like it's going to go lower, but I don't know if it's going to explode again or not. Who knows?
Well, and like they were saying at the convention, they're worried that if the price stays down, the miners won't keep mining. So.
Well, I don't know. I mean, yeah, sure. If the price goes down and some miners stop mining, then the difficulty potentially could go down, and then it could be interesting to mine again.
There you go.
Yeah, but then also the value of the value of the Dogecoin will also be going down. So if the difficulty goes down, you get more coins, so it's not good for the price. So
yeah, that sounds like it would self-correct. Because it would get easier and then it would just become profitable again. Until
but then why will I? Yeah, but then I have to sell my Dogecoins right now because I'm like a long-time investor, and then I would get like inflation, like you have like in the real world. So you get the corrects the whole time, and the value of Dogecoin would go down the whole time. Oh, it also depends on what they do of kind of media, but.
So what is the big deal about Blackcoin? Is it another algorithm? Is it that X11 thing?
Blackcoin has the proof-of-stake algorithm. So instead of mining it, although it was initially mined, and that's a confusion to people, instead of mining it, you mint it by keeping your wallet open and putting a bunch of Blackcoins in your wallet as a stake. So it's your proof-of-stake. So the idea being that in Bitcoin, the miners get a bunch of Bitcoins and they sell them. In Blackcoin, the miners get a bunch of Blackcoins and they try to hold them. So if you want to,
there are other coins like that too, though, right?
Yeah, it's like Peercoin is a similar coin that's been proof of stake for a long time. I think they're one of the longest running coins. It's really become the fad though, where Blackcoin kind of hit it big. Then there's a white coin, which I don't know much about. I think it's a copy of Blackcoin. There's also a blue coin that I think may also be a copy of Blackcoin, an orange coin. There seems to be a color type thing, just as we saw with Doge and Kitty and other animal-based coins. It's very much a fad-based thing these days. Once a coin idea takes off, like a Hollywood sequel, why don't we just make one of those? You know, so
yeah.
So now we're numbered coins.
We had
1 coin, 4 coin.
Then we had the national phase.
National phase, absolutely.
And then we've got the color phase.
And there's the ASIC resistant phase as well. There's a technical phase of coins.
That's still going on, I think.
Certainly.
The ASIC resistant thing. Well, I mean, here they have. Well, Blackcoin is part of the no pre-mine, no IPO phase.
Are they?
Yeah.
You know, when I was a kid, my dad used to throw Terry parties because Terry is a name that is both male and female, and so he would just go through the phone book and invite Terrys to Terry parties. So I wonder if that would work with a cryptocurrency. If you could have like an Alex coin or a Pat coin or
a Mad Bitcoin coin.
Like, could you have a coin that was explicitly like, this is a coin for people named this, that they trade amongst themselves?
That would be it. And you're not supposed to give any to anyone who doesn't have the name.
Right. It's like a club.
Okay. So you just have to find a name that's really popular, and then you'd sell a lot of coins.
John Coin. Although that could be used for something else.
Davey?
Yeah.
You seem like a very technical guy. I don't know if it's like that. Also, I would have a technical question for you.
Uh-oh. Okay.
Imagine
after your presentation, you're calling me a technical guy.
I don't know, because well, I only see you. I don't know if you're a lot in the show, but last time you looked like that. But yeah. But
I
I
am.
lost my question.
My thing is I understand kind of how things work, like, but I don't know how to do it myself, right? So like, I know how to drive a car. I don't know how to build a car. If that makes sense.
You can't be good at at everything. But here I go with my question. Imagine if you want to create a cryptographic business.
Yeah.
But if you want to do that, would it be wise to just create like a coin for your company? Like take for example 42 coin. Just limit it to a certain kind of coins you have. Like if you have like 10,000 shares in your company,
And
you
you're
pick like
actually
a
using the coins as shares in the company. So if I came to you with like 10% of the Bjorn coin market, you'd say, yes, 10% of my company belongs to you.
yeah. Would that be not possible, or is it better to use Ethereum for that kind of things?
I mean, it's definitely possible. It's interesting. It would have to be a part of your marketing from the very beginning, because that would have to be seen as the premise on which your company is beginning. Like I mean, it would probably have to mirror the stock market to some extent. Like you would have an initial public offer, although it wouldn't be on Wall Street. It would be sort of like, look, this is what I'm doing. This is being done to some extent.
Theo,
But it's
but he's shaking his head. What do you got, Theo?
Well, it's a good idea, but I see a few problems. But the main problem I see is 51% attack. Because if you make an altcoin...
Well, that's a hostile takeover, right? Like that happens with Wall Street companies. If you own 51% of a company.
But isn't it possible just to protect your network so you don't give out any mining instruction?
Yeah, you could, but I mean, okay, it's like this. You could do that, and maybe it's good, but then you're kind of centralizing it even more, and it kind of, I mean, it's kind of like a semi-centralized cryptocurrency.
So it's interesting because it means that the stock can't split or anything like that. Like if you're going to actually like release the coin, then you're essentially saying like this coin represents ownership in the company, but it can't be manipulated, which maybe would appeal to shareholders. But I think that like shareholders fundamentally want a vote. They want sort of a say in the running of the company. And so if it's not backed by that, then it makes me wonder in what sense this coin is worth some percentage of your company. Like if your company begins as $100 firm and I buy 10 cents, and then the value of your firm, whatever it's selling, like 10x's, why does my share 10x if it doesn't represent actual control of the company? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would say for that project, try to use the blockchain.
Another option would be crypto stocks. Have you looked into crypto stocks? It's kind of an exchange run by the people that run Vercurex. I think it's still okay, even though Vercurex is in trouble. That's a question still to be decided. We don't know. And they sold Crypsy stocks on there for a while. They still do. And it's an option for this kind of fundraising generating. I know Bitcoin Kinetics is a Bitcoin company that's trying to put Bitcoin acceptors into washing machines and things like that, and they sold a lot of stocks on there. MadeSafe recently sold Safe Coins, which weren't really their project. Like they're working on a whole nother project, but it was a way to fund their project, and I think it was on top of Mastercoin or another meta coin like that. So
yeah.
You mean for crowdfunding? I mean, for crowdfunding, there's also startjoin.com. It's Max Kaiser started it, and it's you can support projects with fiat or Bitcoin.
StartJoin is very cool, a UK-based site. Another cool one I'm into these days, of course, everyone's heard me plugging it, is Patreon. Patron with an E. Okay. And what Patreon is it's like a Kickstarter campaign that never ends. So if you ever wanted to kickstart someone to make art, and you were saying maybe I'd give them $5 a month to keep making that art, you could do that with Patreon. So it's really cool, and it's like subscribing to a magazine. You just kind of pay $5 a month and enjoy the content. You don't worry about the $5. So
that's cool.
Yep.
Yeah, I think the main thing about the making a coin to be a kind of stock or something like that is Yeah, how do you secure it? Yeah, you're right. I guess you could secure it by not telling anybody, by limiting network access, maybe. But I don't know.
But
I
won't
guess
you also need like more and more mining power? Like if you would like make a lot of transactions with those coins,
Okay,
the blockchain will
one more
get bigger
option
and bigger and bigger.
besides a coin that needs mining would be a coin that doesn't need mining, like an open transaction coin or a one of these meta coins on Mastercoin, Counterparty, Ethereum, one of those things where you're able to create the digital tokens kind of by fiat. Like boom, suddenly I have 21 million coins, and then you could give them out as you like. You don't have to mine them, but what you have to do with open transactions anyway is to pay for server costs. So
Yeah.
essentially, you get people to mine it for free, or not for free, they get paid, but or you pay for your server costs. So there's definitely a cost to running a coin today. So I think
Yeah.
that's going to continue. We're going to see costs to this, but it is the kind of thing. Maybe if you could run a server on your own computer, and that would be the server for your personal John coin. You know, if it wasn't that big.
No, I just want to start a business one day, and I would like to like to do it in crypto land. So
Yeah,
sounds
yeah.
like a good idea.
Definitely get it going. Get your qualifications together. Get what kind of business you'd like to do, and framework it all out. And
programming.
Well, I just read a great article the other day that said all the smartest minds in the room are all working on Bitcoin. So you're in good company, and you just got to keep recruiting the best and working with the best and having good ideas. So.
That's why I listen to your shows because you have very interesting people around you.
Well, and again, look at right here. We're trying to bring the crowd in. So if there's people out there that know things, I want to bring them to other people and let them, have their piece and say something. So it's very much everybody's a part of this, and anyone can do this. So
yeah.
But I think we're looking about wrapping it up. We're trying to get Coin Artist on here, but it just doesn't seem like it's going to work out with the time. It's almost 3 o'clock here on the West Coast. So we're going to finish off Bitcoin Talk Show. Thanks to Theo for calling in. Thanks for Bjorn for the Dogecoin and Grid Seed demonstration. Congratulations to Drastic Raven for winning the Battlefield 4 PC game. And hope to see all this gaming stuff go on. Maybe we can play Minecraft together. Christoph says he plays StarCraft 2, so I might learn how to play that and challenge him to a round. Maybe we can have some cryptocurrency gaming going on. I, of course, challenged him to chess beforehand, and he doesn't know how to play. So everyone should learn how to play chess. And
I love chess.
See, there you go. So we can all play. And I've heard chess.com. There's some other ways we might try to get some little chess going action here. I mean, what'll happen? I'll get beat a bunch of times, get pissed. But other than that, we can all play chess. Love it. So, but chess, Minecraft, StarCraft, Battlefield 4 apparently, and we'll all play some games with our cryptocurrency. Have a little fun. So, but thanks to everybody for joining in. I'm gonna go ahead and push the stop broadcast button. So, good night. Bye bye.
Good night, CryptoLand.